Blah.
Hey, welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing very well. I'm really sorry for the late start. I was actually going to stream this yesterday, but I ordered some food and I felt horrible after the football game, and I just had repercussions from that now. So I'm not feeling super amazing. I mean, I'm obviously smiling because I'm happy to be back, but yeah, it's been pretty tough. I ordered some food from this place. It was not good. I shouldn't have eaten anywhere near as much as I did of it. So yeah, feeling pretty crappy. But hey, everybody, hope we're doing well. Looks like we have the Blackthorn, Dragonborn, Nirob, of course, the Muck Lucker, and yeah, hello everybody. Hope we're all doing really well. Who else we've got up here? Let's have a little look. I can't scroll up any further. But alright, well, welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed the title and the picture. You guys can see that DBD, we don't have an image, so I made one where one of the guys from CA sent me a picture of Ducky's new image that he got sent for his YouTube, right? And he loves Ainsley Harriott, this guy, so he walloped Ainsley Harriott's face on Ducky's rubber duck for his image, and I was like, perfect, fantastic, excellent. That's exactly what I wanted for an image. So that went excellent. Nurgle got you, yeah, man, yeah, I know. It was awful. Right, so DBD versus GGX. So let me just get this up, and let me just make sure that I'm got this all correct. I think it's perfect. Absolutely love it. Oh, I just sent it to him actually, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it. Fantastic. I love that. Right. So there's 8 games in total. Ooh, that's interesting. I've only got 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 7. Who do I not have? We will find out as we go. I'm going to write these down because there's somebody here I don't have, and we'll find that replay. Don't you worry. We'll find it. So this one here, so this is going to be the Counts versus Greenskins. I believe this was VC. So it's going to be Warberstein versus Duckborn. So it's going to be Dragonborn there as the Greenskins. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be on the wrong side, but it looks like, yeah, so we're going to be having VC's Warberstein, who's a very good player. It's going to be on Prague, and yeah, let's hop into it. How's everybody doing, though? I hope you're all doing really well. Please let me know what you've been up to, and yeah, I hope you guys are just doing absolutely fantastic. I really just have had not enough time to be playing this game, which is why I'm super happy to be back here today. But it looks like we're going to be the triple gold chevron stones here. I don't know, maybe with the regen they can do it, maybe because it's a bit worried of Wind of Death, but I like Black Orcs in this matchup. I think Black Orcs plus Wazag with the Bonewood Staff goes really hard, because if you have nice cheap spells, you keep spamming that 12 melee attack, and I think it's charge bonus. Like 4% or something. But yeah, you get that melee attack buff that's just constant on the Black Orcs, and the amount of AP they've got, it's just pure destruction. But on the other side, yeah, this way we're going to have some Crypt Horror, so regen. We're going to have the Regiment of Renown as well, which is relatively interesting. Let's take some of these things off, if we can. Movement paths. Don't know how to turn that off. I thought I had it turned off. Maybe if I play it will go away. It does go away. Cool. Alright, so it's going to be a disgusting blob here of the Double Rogue Idols. These bad boys, of course, lots of armor. They're large, and that's just something that you really struggle there with the VC. You know, taking down these big entities is really tough. We're going to have regen for the Stone Trolls. Of course, the triple gold is going to give them the leadership they need. You can see up to 79 here. Good melee attack, armor piercing, regen, and ITP, which I think is going to be thanks to the guy in the middle here, the Black Orc Big Boss. So he's going to have the Brass Cleaver, which is really good. That 8 melee attack is quite strong. And then the Rebel Rouse, which gives immune to Psychology. This is exactly why I bring him. I don't particularly bring gear back here. I don't particularly think that's, all that viable, especially if you're going to be having these two. I think that's probably more than enough. But in the middle, some Gobbos just to kind of help, dissipate the damage from the, the monstrous infantry. And then we are going to going to have the Swampy Things. So the Swampy Things here, of course, bring the poison, still AP. They also have the Overwhelming Odor, and, VC really struggle with melee attack just to begin with. Regen and Terror, you pay quite a bit for Terror, I think, in this unit. So maybe just an extra unit of Stone Trolls would have done the best, but, still nonetheless. In the middle, we're also going to have the Man, the Myth, if we can get onto him. Azag the Slaughterer, if we can get there, please, game. Yeah, there we go. So, interesting. So, I like the Soul Blight. I think this is the perfect way to go if you're going to play VC. There's no point in having damage spells like Spirit Leech or Fade of Beauty can be okay, if you're going to be, chucking it on Blood Knights, but you probably don't expect it here. But Armor and Melee Defense is going to be really good for the front line. Soul Blight will be really nice there to take down a lot of units. With the Life Leeching just to give more power reserves. Get on with it for the leadership. And then, of course, the slashers, the slaggers slashers. So more melee attack and more leadership. Just a complete blob build, which is absolutely filthy. In the Sky Fellbats, of course, just to kind of chase off those routing units. And I really like Hex Rays. These are the regular ones. The Regiment Renown? No, I thought they had flaming attacks. Maybe they don't. I thought maybe they used to have flaming attacks, Hex Rays. But they used to be really good against regen because they have. Especially against most of the regen units, because you used to have flaming attacks, good physical resistance, and good mobility, so they could chase off quite a few units. And you can see the standard zombie elements at the front, mixed with a bunch of spearmen, and in the back here, double crypt horrors, Mortis Engine, which is just going to be disgusting for regen, damage per second, and then power recharge rate, with a Necromancer as well. So the Necromancer, what's he going to be having? He's going to have the Forbidden Rod, so stroking the big bad boy in the backside. And it's going to be Manfred on a dragon, which I think is a bit of a rare one. I don't see Manfred very often, but he's going to be having the Sword of Unholy Power, Arcane Conduit, Spirit, Life Leeching, and of course the Law passive of Healing, Raise the Dead, Invocation, Spirit Leech, the Curse of Years, which is interesting. And then we're going to be, is that Air of Effect? It is Air of Effect. The Curse of Years actually could be really powerful here, and then of course those breath attacks. Hey, what's up? How are we doing for Poland? And Mr. Captain Morgan, how are we? Right, so let's get a bit of a skip on here. There's no real range units on both sides. So as we dive in, you can see the blobs staying nice and tight together, which is exactly the way you need to play this. We see Manfred coming across, breath attack. Where we're going to see this? Spirit Leech, I can't see what's going down. It looks like Spirit Leech is going to be on Azag. I think that's really good because Azag doesn't have that healing. By the way, hopefully all of you guys can hear me really well. I hope so. New mic, my old one broke, which I was really sad. There was £120 down the drain. It hurt my soul. So, Azag here took a bit of a Spirit Leech. There's nothing that's really going to be able to protect him there. We do need to go forward. But the question is, what are we going to go after? Nice around here coming from Warberstein. Dragonborn. Can we take down that Mortis Engine? A Mortis Engine is going to be a bit of a problem here in the middle. The leadership is going to hold. 79 is huge for Stone Trolls. Absolutely huge. So now we're going to upgrade. So we do have the Meat Grinder moving in. Zombie's going to be charging heroically into the front line. Alongside here, the big Mortis. Mortis is going to come around the corner. And it's just going to be causing so much damage. Most of it has to be in melee combat. So we see Soul Blight going down maybe a bit early. Maybe a bit early here. But you can see that base weapon damage going down. Armor going down. Zombies don't have any armor anyway. But it's going to be a bit of a melee mash here in the middle. Rogue Idol, he's going to be having the Curse of Years activated. That's going to be the Air of Effect in the middle. That's negative on that melee attack. The Azag's armor going down for melee defense and armor, which is going to be really strong. Cycle charging from the Hex Wraiths will certainly be needed. Now, of course, a lot of armor piercing has been paid for. We can see, of course, in the front, War as well has been activated. Everything's been thrown down here. But, of course, the Vampire Count's not really going to have anywhere to go. So, charging forward, Crypt Horrors now going to be fighting in the front alongside the Sternsmen. Sternsmen with the regen, and that bonus as infantry as well, which should be okay against the Gobbos, but it's not really going to do too much else on the battlefield. So, Fairbout's in the backside, going to be kind of floating around. Cycle charging with the Hex Wraith, good stuff there from Warberstein. And it looks like in the middle we are going to be protecting Azag so far. Manfred's been caught here though. Manfred is looking in trouble. Big Red Eagle's coming, of course. He could maybe swamp down on Manfred is getting destroyed here. Soul Blight activated, that negative armor. Base weapon damage going down. Is Manfred going to get into crumbling zone? I don't know. Manfred's going to get out, and I think that is really crucial there. Oh wow, Manfred is taking some damage. And he's going to be a huge amount of balance of power. So Invocation is going to be going down on him relatively quickly, I would have thought. in the middle. Still going to be fighting with the Black Orcs. Azag's not looking brilliant. Breath Attack down on the Rogue Idol. Breath Attack probably doesn't have too much AP. Yeah, give that, you know, sort of 30%. It's not huge. Stersman Graveguard, they're going to be holding. Looking pretty healthy. They're not really taking too much damage. The Swampy Things, looks like Get Back Here and War has been activated in the middle here on most of these boys. We do see the Stone Trolls here. This could be a bit of a mistake. Fighting up against Skeleton Spearmen on their own, and we can see the Invocation Overcast coming down here in the middle. One Rogue Idol on his own, one unit of Stone Trolls on their own. They're going to be a little bit isolated, and they kind of could get targeted down here just a little bit. So Manfred's going to move in, come for a rear charge on the Stone Trolls, and that's, you know, a really smart play there for sure. They do have ITP here still. Okay, they still have ITP. Azag's coming across. Looks like they're going to try and get after Manfred. Now, if we do hit here with the Stone Trolls and stagger on Manfred, this could be a huge mistake. This is one reason why, you know, especially against greenskins here with, you know, units such as Stone Trolls, and you're also going to be having Rogue Idols, bringing Manfred on a dragon can be a little bit risky. Skeleton Spearmen pushing through. Of course, yeah, they're going to be backing up their brothers in the middle. One of the biggest problems is the Mortis engine. What do we have to take care of this thing? This thing needs to die and die quickly, because if it doesn't, it's just going to wither down this greenskin army. So Manfred gets away. Healing Cap now is present. 4,000 HP for him. He's not looking super happy. He is regenning. Does he have regen? Why is he Oh, he has the hunger, but he's not in combat. Very interesting. So Felbats move in, and as these Rogue Idols, as they're taking more damage, they're actually going to be getting more powerful. They have their rubble, so they lose armor, but they just get huge bonuses on their weapon stats, and they really, really start thumping at the later stage. So Soulblight gets activated, so Azag's odd armor, which is, I think, 35 meters, just really making it tough here for the majority of the cheap chaff of the VC to get through and do all the damage. We can see here, it's going to be pretty green for the Vampire Counts. Now, the Counts going to be probably gently taking the lead. I think a lot of that is going to be due to that Mortis engine. Mortis engine in the middle. Let's have a look here. So, 2,800 damage so far. I don't know what we have. I think we really need to get a Rogue Idol on it for that weapon strength. Just really start thumping this thing down as quickly as possible. Stone Trolls in the middle, really suffering. And it looks like Azag is also going to be going down pretty quickly. He's going to be at 1,200 HP. Necromancer's in the middle. Wouldn't mind getting the Necromancer with a bit of pressure. He's not an amazing melee combatant, but one or two successful hits could really put some threat on Azag. Azag takes another Spirit Leech. This could be the end. And one of the problems we're going to see for the greenskins at this moment is if anything breaks, for example, we see the Swamp Things in the backside, we've got units to chase them off. Felbats alongside Hex Wraiths. It's looking pretty nasty. So Cryptors in the middle, they're going to be at Healing Cap, which is probably, you know, what you would expect here. Mortis Engine is still going pretty strong. Rogue Idol needs that constant attention. It needs to continuously keep fighting the Mortis Engine, which is now at a single silver chevron. 3,400 damage, and look at this. Really good gameplay from an experienced player that shows Stone Trolls are broken, immediately collapsing on that. Very, very good stuff. So you're going to be fighting in the middle here, the Rogue Idol. He's going to be slamming down on the Skeleton Spearmen. Rogue Idols and Exilic Graveguard here as well. The Sternsman going to be getting pretty close to Healing Cap. Don't know how these Skeleton Spearmen are still coming in, but, you know, they're still doing the God's work here with the Necromancer holding on the outside. How many uses of his big chunkers has he got left? None. He's used all three. He's used all three. So at this point, he's just going to be balanced power. But you can see here the greenskins, yeah, kind of really suffering on the outside. Manfred, I don't know what Manfred did there. Maybe a Spirit Leech or two would go quite hard for him. Hex Race on the outside. Yeah, and I think that's going to be it here in the middle. So we see Black Orc Big Boss in the middle. It looks like he is going to use the Leadership Aura, which is going to be good. It's going to keep most of these boys in the middle fighting. Are Rogue Idols? No. Oh, they are unbreakable. Rogue Idols are unbreakable. Very nice. Now, of course, the Mortis Engine, oh man, 109 kills is absurd considering 3,800 value so far. That is just ginormous. Black Orc Big Boss, he shatters. That's army losses. But, of course, the Rogue Idols here are going to be fighting to the bitter end. God damn. I can't wait to see what this Mortis Engine gets towards the end. It is going to be absurd. It is going to be absurd. So they're going to charge in. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a out of control here for the Rogue Idol. We see 1,000 weapon strength with that anti-infantry as well. It's just absolutely bonkers. Very, very good attempt. I like the idea behind. Oh, there's names on them. Oh, nice. Oh, yes. Thank God we have names on them now. Ah, man, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Right, so let's go here with the greenskins. So Azag, 1,160 there for him. 1,072 for the Black Orc Big Boss. I think you maybe could have dropped an element or two there for sure, but 1.7 and 1.3k there for the Rogue Idol. With 1,017 for the Swampy Things. Now, I think what could have been quite prudent on Azag is to take the ability that gives you magic attacks and the leadership bonuses. That could have been quite good there to, you know, circumvent a lot of that physical resistance. That could have been really nice. You know, even just, you know, maybe one unit of skirmish to be fighting some of the hex wraiths. Maybe it could have been a possibility for sure. But 1.5, 1,000 there for the stone trolls, 202, 480 for the goblins, and the Swampy Things coming in at 1,000. So yeah, I think these getting in roughly about the same, but of course these stone trolls would have been more expensive. But I really like the idea of Azag. You know, of course the Soul Blight. I think the Soul Blight is really good in theory. I think it was a really nice build here from Wolverstein that was just able, you know, to kind of, yeah, that doesn't really matter to him. He doesn't have much armor to begin with, but yeah, we can see here that 1,100 for the Hex Race, only 680 for the Stones, but they were still going. 4,270 from the MVP from the Mortar's Engine is just absurd. It's just absurd. It really, really is just absurd. Finally, the names. I know. I'm so excited for it. 920, 780 there for the Crypt Horrors, 22 for the Necromancer. Fellbats did what they needed to do. 400 for the Skelly Spearmen. So look at that. 1,000 for these Skeleton Spearmen. 490. And the zombies got pretty much score all. Manfred 1,770. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, the biggest problem with the Rogue Idols is that you basically have to have them attacking from two angles. So if you have them attacking on the same corner as the Mortis Engine, the hitbox of the Mortis Engine is not big enough. They end up getting like clobbering each other. They're not actually hitting each other, but they're getting in each other's way basically. So you have to come from two different angles to hit this Mortis Engine, and you just have to keep on it. And the thing is if you don't constantly keep clicking on them to keep clicking on the Mortis Engine, if anything else attacks it successfully, they'll just turn it around and then start bonking something else. Crypt Horrors just wouldn't die though. Yeah, I think Crypt Horrors are a bit of a nightmare. Melee defense 33. Also, they have poison, which is also a nightmare. Really good weapon strength, and yeah, of course regen. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. I don't know what else you could have done there. Yeah, I think to deal with this, what I really would have liked to have seen is, I think Wurzag, right? So if we just drop out of this quickly. This is just food for thought, right? This is just food for thought. Like, you know, of course, everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own ideas. But I think, for example, if we'd taken like Wurzag, I quite like Wurzag on his Spleen Ripper. Squiggly Beast if you absolutely want to, but I like the Bonewood Staff, 20% charge bonus plus 12 melee attack every time for 17 seconds. And then what you do is you just go something like Brainbuster and like Edbutt, or you go Gaze of Mork, and you just spam the living daylights. DBD still going, haven't seen the duck around for months. Yeah, so I'm running DBD now. I'm the leader of DBD, as Ducky's kind of like stepped away, and he's basically has a new job, and he's got a lot of things going on for himself, so yeah. Physical resistance is pretty cheap, so I can't say no to that. Yeah, Paradawag is pretty good. What's Extra Revenge? I mean, Miscast Chance, not terrible. Leadership, take it or leave it. But I think actually having Effigy to Gate would be really nice, because if Manfred comes down, boom, net, slam, and he's dead. Maybe could have been the idea, but you know, maybe something along this, you know, this idea could have been pretty decent. You know, of course, you lose some of the other bonuses that you would have got from Azag for sure. But it really giving you that melee attack, and then you know you would have had the explosion spells of Brain Bluster, Edbutt, or Gaze of Mork, which you could have used to like maybe smash that. And then we have, you know, with that, like, yeah, I think the aspect of the Dread Knight would have been quite nice. Magical attacks that deal with like the ethereal units could have been quite prudent if you had the money to, you know, get on top of that. Maybe even a Spirit Leech wouldn't have like been the end of the world, but I think Aspirate the Dread Knight would have been pretty decent. But yeah, I thought the build was really good. Yeah, fun stuff. All right, so that's going to be 1-0 to the GGX party. Where's the bad boys? Where is the bad boys? There they are. There we go. Big one, big one. I think this is going to be the wrong way around for all of them. I'll have to check. Replays. Right, so Exiles of... So it's going to be TK versus... this is going to be... is this the right one? Yeah. So TK versus tzeentch. I tried Wazag in testing. Yeah, I normally just use the Black Ops Big Boss as well and just bring the ITP. I don't take Stone Trolls though. I take Black Orcs. I don't take Stone Trolls. So yeah, probably Spartan. Yeah, you're probably right, bro. You're probably right, bro. So we have who played tzeentch? I think Norm. Yes, this is going to be Norm versus Jean Pastex. So I think this is the wrong way round. So let me just very quickly update this so it's going to be the right way around for the entire thing. So GGX, let's go DBD here, DBD, and then let's swap the scores around. Yeah, because then that's going to be right for the whole thing. Cool. Nice. So it's 1-0 so far. What we're seeing there is going to be taking the lead, and it's going to be TK with Jean Pex or Jean Pastex. I think that's how you pronounce that. I have no idea. I do apologise. And then we're going to be going up against Lenorm. So let's get in. So I think this one here. I think I struggle seeing this build win with Jean Pastex. This is going to be interesting. Sulfur Crested. Oh, I don't even know what that's going to be, but yeah. I don't know how I feel about these boys. They could be good. We'll have to see. I think bunch of blues here could have been decent. Tomb Guard are a bit of a problem. Tomb Guard are certainly a problem. Yes, Tomb Guard do present quite an issue in this matchup, I must say. Bone Shopty, you've got to be careful, especially with this caster, because he can just summon spawn on you and then just kind of bullies your kite potential. But it depends on your micro. So over in the trees, we're going to be having some Chaos Furies, and it's like some Marauders over here on the left. Chaos Warriors in the front. Looks like they're going to be taking the majority of the damage. And it looks like the Chaos Sorcerer here is flying as well. So we're going to have the Paragon of Change. I've never really particularly found that to be too beneficial. But Arcane Conduit, Fires of Change, the Blasted Standard, which is interesting. I'd probably just take just these three, and I probably just wouldn't take anything else. Like pink, blue, and the Sword of Change for like, he's like a 1500 caster on his disc in the sky is just absurd value. Chaos Furies, the Severed Claw, which is going to be the Regiment of Renown here. Loads of anti-large. Very, very, very strong. And Screamers do really well in this matchup. I think Screamers, a mixture of Screamers and Furies do really nicely. Right, so on the other side, we're going to have the Nekahara Horsemen, very, very good for their price. Skeleton Warriors on the front, bit of skirmish here in the trees. And Sentry the Imperishable on the big kitty cat. So Sentry's going to have, of course, his Lore passive with the Incantation of Protection and the Incantation of the Cursed Blades. Overcast that for a bit of anti-large if you need it. Yeah, really good cheap spells there to get that Lore passive. Your Shopty Great Bows ready to kind of, shrine in the middle. So I think actually Chaos Warriors would do quite nicely up against Tomb Guard. It's 32 on 41, going up against 36 on 44, and they have the magic damage as well. So any physical resistance that does come through, which actually makes the spell here from Cetra not super great because it's only physical resistance, which is a bit of an interesting one. Of course, you're playing up against tzeentch, so that's always something to take into consideration. On the side, Marauders going to be diving in the trees. Of course, Marauders would just be a nice cheap way of keeping these bad boys busy. And the Leechy Priest of Death here with just Spirit Leech and the Scrolls of Mighty Incantations. Interesting. Blue Flame going to be catching a lot of the Marauders. That's a lot of damage up against himself. A little bit unfortunate there for Lenorm. And we're coming over here with the Screamy Boys. Now, Screamy Boys definitely want to get on some of these Chosen as quickly as possible, where they can. And then probably use the Furies just to keep the Nekahara Horsemen busy. But it looks like here a really nice coordinated stack coming down on the Chosen of the God. But of course, they're all coming in from the same angle. So the Nekahara Horsemen are going to dive in and keep these bad boys busy. So, yeah, I think actually what I probably would have done is have some Furies dive in up against the Horsemen and, then try to maneuver around where you had a couple of these available. But good work here coming from Jean. Jean's going to move in with some of the Nekahara Horsemen, creating a bit of a screen here for the Chosen. In the middle, some Marauders coming around for the trees, going to be butchering on the Skeleton Warriors, doing what they do best. Tomb Guard in the middle pocket, and it looks like more Tomb Guard going to be pushing back those Marauders. So in the middle, lots of horsemen here just fighting up against the Chaos Furies, etc. And you can see the Scrummers really have taken quite a bit of damage. Good focusing there on the Skeleton Horsemen, but they really want to take down the Chosen where they can. Pink Fire down the line. What's that going up against? Maybe some Tomb Guard there. No, just Skeleton Warriors. And overcome Cetra the Imperishable. Now, one thing we are going to struggle with for sure. We either need the Severed Claw coming here after Cetra, or we have to have some of the anti-large boys, the Screamers. Chasing in the backside though, the Skeleton Archers, they should be able to get away from the Furies here. 110 speed, they should be able to get in and compromise quite nicely. But maybe a Spirit Lich or two here could be a bit of a nightmare. In the middle, so we are going to get the summon of the Ushopti. Definitely want to pull out the Screamers. They are very crucial here to the battle plan of tzeentch. Balance of power here, those are going to be relatively even, slightly pulling in the GGX favour. In the sky, it looks like we're going to be zooming around. Maybe a blue flame or two here or there wouldn't be too bad. Maybe up against the cavalry would be quite nice. Taking down just as many models as you possibly can. We can see Screamers here really struggling. Probably just want to ignore these Ushopti where you can. Severed Claw are going to be fighting, and these bad boys have really good melee defense there at 52, so they'll hold pretty nicely. But Chosen of the Gods still going to be shooting here up against a lot of these flyers. Screamers died down up against the Tomb Guard, lots of AP, so they should be able to get through that armor nice and quickly. Tomb Guard fighting against the Chaos Warriors on the right with a bit of help here from the Cetra Imperishable. Horsemen here fighting against Chaos Warriors, not great for them, so we're going to dive down with the Furies as well, but a nice little kite to the back corner here from Jean. We see some Marauders moving through the middle, but need to protect the Severed Claw. They're going to be, quite useful in the later stage of the match. Now, where's the Lord Choice? Now, he's in the middle. Maybe we could get a couple of the Blue Flames, overcasted here up against Cetra. It might be quite decent to take down some, certainly do some damage up against him. The caster on the match, though, where's that Spirit Lich caster? Can't see him as of right now, but maybe a blue flame or two also. There he is. Is he on foot or is he on horseback? So he's on horseback, so maybe slamming him with a spell or two wouldn't be terrible. So Severed Claw are going to be chasing, but it looks like we're going to try and catch him here with the Sorcerer Lord. He can't stay in combat for too long, but it looks like here the Horse Archers are coming across to maybe try and help him fight and protect here. The backside, Chosen of the Gods, they're still going to be firing. I think this is going to be a game changer here. If both of the Ushopti Great Bows can keep firing all game, I mean, it's going to be really hard for tzeentch because they're kind of now in the middle of the pocket, and this mobility really has just dominated quite heavily. Spirit Lich coming across. It looks like we actually get the summon of the spawn here in the backside. Spirit Lich going down on the caster. And it looks like the Great Bow's trying to get away. So speed here, 42 going up against 54 there from the Ushopti. So they should get away relatively quickly. Bow Ushopti firing in the front. I think they're shooting after the Chaos Spawn. Marauders moving to the middle, but Cetra's looking really healthy here at this point. I think this is going to be really tough for tzeentch to get back into this. Horse Archer is just going to be shooting the Severed Claw. I think that's probably the last of the resistance left. But the Spawn now do catch up. So they are taking down one of the Ushopti Great Bows. Quite a bit of damage coming through now. The Lord Choice is attacking and staggering as many of these models as he can. Severed Claw gets charged down here by the Skeleton Horse, by the Skeleton Horseman, and they're going to take a lot of damage in return there for that charge. Spirit Lich again going down on the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and of course, he's going to be holding a lot of balance of power at this point in the game. In the middle, Chaos Warriors, as well as some of the Marauders being found in the pocket, but nothing's really looking really too healthy at all. Tomb Guard on the backside, breaking out some of the Chaos Warriors. And Marauders are diving across. But the Shopti Great Bows, the Chosen of the Gods can move up here to the top. You get a bit of a height advantage, as Cetra does what he does best. Tomb Guard are going to go and attack up against the Chaos Warriors, just maybe freeing out some of the Nekahara Horsemen to chase off the remainder of the broken tzeentch units. And the backside looks like the Great Bow's going to get away, and they're going to start firing here up against the Lord Choice. But the Severed Claw probably need to get in the trees and round. But yeah, I think it's the problem. Like, losing all that mobility so early is really tough. It's really tough because now we're suffering to... Well, we're just losing here to the mobility game because you can just keep kiting now with the Shopti Great Bows. Over here in the middle, it looks like the Lord Choice is going to be helping to fight up against these Skeleton Horse Archers. Well, I think the Horse Archers here will be enough to probably shatter these Marauders. Tomb Guard coming forward as they're getting chased down here by some of the infantry of tzeentch. Lord's going to fire a big blue bolt here, coming forward, I think, after Cetra. And with those attack animations, it's going to be... Oh, no, it's actually going to come after the Chosen of the God. Spread shot firing in the front, and I think that's probably... We're getting pretty close here, I think, to army losses. I think the Severed Claw here is going to be the one just holding this together. But I think, you know, between the Skeleton Horse Archers and the kiting of the Shopti Great Bows, we're just going to blast, you know, the arse here off these Severed Claw. Chaos Warriors fighting, but I think, you know, Cetra's got their number here today. He's, you know, looking very strong here in the middle. Not too much, let's just give you the Severed Claw charging forward. I think they're just going to have to keep busy on the Great Bows. Blue Flame coming across. Going to be hitting just the one model. Yeah, that's pretty decent there. It's going to take down the model quite nicely, down to 12 here. Chaos Warriors just getting absolutely abused by Cetra, and everything else in the middle is just getting shut down by, you know, by cavalry here. We see the Chosen of the Gods coming across, and that is going to be the end. So GG's there. GG's well played. I think a bit of a tough one. I think this is relatively tough for tzeentch. I like a bunch of blues in this matchup with, you know, you need lots of flyers. Chaos Warriors, Marauders and blues I think do quite nicely. Severed Claw, it's just not for me, I don't think. Yeah, I just don't think you can use the Severed Claw here. I just maybe there's a specific scenario where they do insane, but I just think here there's not a lot you can do with this unit. Yeah, I find that quite tough, I think. Otherwise, for the Severed Claw, you could maybe sub in. I forget what they're called. Sorry, I'll have to have a look at it. The other way you could have subbed in was. Tzeentch. Yeah, you could sub in a Soul Grinder, maybe. Just a thought there. Oh, thank you very much, Blackthorn. Appreciate that. Alright, so that's going to be 2-0 to GGX. These boys put on a huge performance here to begin with. And now it's going to be a Dark Elf mirror match. Holy hell, which is actually going to be Rakarth going up against Mima's Darkblade. Oh dear. Well, this is going to be something. I'm a little bit worried here about the Deadwood Sentinels. These boys, they look like they could be struggling. Alright, sounds like I'm a bit quiet. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I don't know if you guys can... Can you guys hear me pretty well? I don't know if you guys can hear me very well here on this or not. Hopefully. I'm using my backup mic, basically. Hopefully it's okay. DBD. Where was it? Where is the image? Show it to me. So the Dark Elf mirror match was between Stormrunner and Rice. So Rice, obviously, a very strong player. He's been on. He's going to be on Chilled Flow as well. But yeah, very strong player. As is Stormrunner. Both of these guys have played in a lot of my tournaments. Oh right. So lots of cheap infantry. This is very interesting. Sisters of Slaughter here could be great. Or they could just get blasted. No. Oh, there is a caster. Death Caster, Spirit Leech, Faded Buna. That's going to be pretty painful on the Dark Riders, I think. Rakaf is an interesting one, though. Considering that hair, yeah, he's going to be on Dragon, I think. Alright, let's get into it. Sounds fun to you? Awesome, man. Awesome, 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 awesome. This should be an interesting one. I think I favour Rice build here, but this is a super fun build. I never see Rakaf. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do here. I'm very excited to see what he's going to do. The Whip of Agony could be quite interesting, especially if you want to like terror out something. And it also has a Blood Rat Medusa. I love that. I love that. I love everything about that. I am very concerned about the Triple Scourge Runners, though. I think the Triple Scourge Runners are going to be slapping cheeks here, I think. Hey, Zypher, how you doing, man? How you doing? I hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you're doing well. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying today, of course, do feel free to, slap on that like button and, subscribe if you haven't already. So nice little tight build here coming from Rice. Yeah, obviously Cold Knights as well, really strong. Anti-large, armor piercing with good armor values and shields. Dark Riders here on the flanks. We are going to have some Harpies, and I believe we have the regiment around in the middle. Yes, which is going to be the Crows of Cain. Yeah, Crows of Cain have healing with the Crows Fest, which is actually quite a bit. So think about that as double regen when they're in combat. Black Arcs with some Sisters in the middle, so a bit of a melee push. The Blood Rat Medusa, 125 range. Anti-infantry, armor piercing. Bit of an interesting one. I can't wait to see what she does. Kindle Flame with Burning Head, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Flippy Sword of Ruin. Could be interesting. Dark Riders, the Preacher Crossbows, 115 range, could certainly struggle here. And Rakarth, I think I like the Harpy pick because of course you're going to be in the sky together. What's Rakarth on here? Oh, he is on his dragon. He is on his dragon. So we're going to have the Beast Armor of Karankar, which is that damage resistance and melee defense. Large enemy presence in ability range. So I guess it has to just be a large enemy. Anything with the nice big large symbol. Beastlord's Gaze, which stops rampage, and then it looks like we are going to have the Whip of Agony, which is going to be, of course, that negative melee defense, and they lose terror and fear, which is a really cool ability. Beast Slaver alongside the Noxious Breath. Yeah, so on the other side here, Mimas Darkblade with probably everything. Yeah. He's looking ready to go. So, of course, Scourge Runners, 150 range. I think they're going to be a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, if it's me, I'm rolling these bad boys. Rolling these bad boys forward, and I'm just blasting anything I see. Rakarth, blasted. Anything large, blasted. They're going to have a pretty sore day here today, I think. So I'm going to shoot in the front here, Scourge Runners. Going to be doing some damage up against these Sisters, and they have absolutely no armor, so they're well and truly going to feel the hurt here. And yeah, it looks like we're just going to go back here with Rice, and we're just going to kite to death, I think. Let's have a look. So we come forward. Scourge Runner's still holding. So much value already. And I assume he's just going to go back. Yeah, so he's just going to go back and shoot, which is fine. It's totally within the rules. Dark Riders, I probably want to get these a little bit closer with some of the Harpies, because there's nothing else here with range, so I definitely wanted to put some pressure on the Scourge Runner Chariots to just prevent them from getting onto these Sisters quite so comfortably. Harpies at the top side. I'm interested to see how we're going to deal with the Cold Knights. We can certainly skirmish them a little bit here. Fire Sorceress, no Fireball, which is a bit of a problem. Fireball could have been quite good here, maybe up against the Scourge Runners. Don't really know how it sits in the meta. I don't think particularly strong at this moment. But in the middle, we are going to be having the Fate of Buna going down on the Sisters of Slaughter. and that is just going to be redonkulous damage. Rakarth is going to be feasting in the middle alongside some of his bleak swords. And what is... Oh, that's going to be the blood price. Right, yeah. And there you go. The ladies have fallen, and so the sisters in the middle cycling there with the Scourge Runners. And now they're going to be blasting the arse here off of Rakarth. Harpies are in. They're going to be chasing down the Scourge Runners. And looks like the Dark Riders are in as well, just to compromise. But they'll die pretty quickly here to the Cold One Knights. So it looks like Rakarth is going to be moving. The Fire Sorceress goes in, absolutely slapping here. She wants a piece, and she wants a piece now. Breath attack goes down. Oh, nice damage there on Rakarth. He certainly felt that one. And the big dragon moves in. Now, are we going to see any abilities? The Whip of Agony, reducing that melee defense and that terror. So we could terror out here on Mima's Dartblade. And if we get him off the field, that could be really handy. But no! Rakarth is dying pretty hard. Burning Head down the middle here. That's going to be -8 leadership as well going down on Mimas. Is Mimas going to go down to the Build of the Century here? I wonder. Down to 27 leadership. He might hold. The big dragon is absolutely thumping. The Bloodrat Medusa is going to be firing bolts into the Bleak Swords. And there we go. Zarkon is activated. So you probably want to get Rakarth out here. Rakarth probably needs to go. Dark Riders can now just shoot up against the big boy. But, you know, he will take damage and he needs to now fight in combat. He absolutely has to. The problem with Rakarth, he doesn't heal. And they are going to be blasting him. And it looks like that is going to be a pullout. It would be more painful if he charged the front line instead of kiting it. What do you mean, sorry? 1.6k there for Rakarth, 502 for the Bloodrat Medusa, 107 for the Fire Sorceress, not really too much in the front, and yeah, repeater crossbows, bit of a tough jobby there. I think somewhere between the Harpies and the Dark Riders maybe trying to protect the front. Obviously, you know, triple Scourge Runners, you know, just automatically got their value. And Mimas, you know, the fact that he could transform. I really like the idea here of Rakarth getting in and just slapping cheeks, but he also got his cheek slapped in return. So it's a pretty tough one there. Stormrunner, absolute champion. He tried it. He brought an absolute worldie of a build, I have to say. It was certainly one of the funniest, memeiest builds that I've certainly come across in a while. Sorry, when you say he, I'm not sure you're talking about Cypher, sorry. So, we're now going to move on to High Elves vs Skaven. Now, this is, I think, going to be an interesting one, because High Elf has received a lot of love. A lot of love. Illyrian Reavers now going from 700 down to 600, certainly making them pretty good. You know, Illyrian Reavers at 550 still. Surprised we didn't see those changing down to 500. Definitely could have seen that happening. And Loth and Seaguard also being considerably cheaper with Spearmen. Looks like we have triple Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers with a Spirit Leech caster. Holy God, please don't do that again. Right, and I really like this as well. So if you're a new player in the game, you know, maybe you've been joining my Shawbeard, maybe you've been playing it a little bit, I think Death Magic is, you know, not always super efficient, but I think that it's really, really easy. You know, you bring Life Leeching, bring Spirit Leech, Fate of Buna. If any unit has more than 25 models and it's really expensive, blast it with Fate of Buna. Otherwise, if it's got a low model count, say Monstrous Infantry or a Lord that can't heal, Spirit Leech does really nicely. Book of Hoeth is great, and then Armor of the Stars to give Unspottable to prevent him from being blasted. Looking at the build, I think this is going to be struggling here a little bit. Quick Head Taker with the Assassin, really, really like him. And then we're going to be having the Eshin Sorcerer here with the Warp Stars alongside the Black Whirlwind. He's also going to be having the Fear of... Oh, nice. Negative 24 leadership is huge. That against the High Elves is an interesting one. And then the Speed of Lycos for that Unspottable. No real range, which is very interesting here for the Skaven. So let's have a look, see who this is. So this is going to be... High Elves is Ninja. No. I think I've got this wrong around. So the Skaven is Black Thorn. going up against Raylan. Raylan as the High Elves. Alright, Blackthorn. Let's see what we got. So no range here coming from Blackthorn, which is going to be a bit of an interesting. Hey, Grutz, how you doing, bro? Rakarth and the producer do look cool indeed. They do, bro, they do. I find it weird that there was no Scourge Runners and nothing to protect the Skirmish Cav either. Yeah, I think, so some of the boys from DBD are, they are memers and dreamers. They generally like, so the thing about the clan, so GGX is quite a competitive clan, whilst DBD is very much a relaxed meme clan that likes doing tournaments. So they like bringing fun builds and doing stuff that's a little bit off meta and having fun and trying to see if they can make things work. That's kind of the vibe there of DBD. You know, as a clan, we're there for a good time. We're here to enjoy the game. So I think there it was just something that he tried. It looked really fun, but I think, you know, against the build that was brought for the Dark Elves, I just think it was going to be pretty tough. I could see very much the same thing happening here, I would say. So there's no range, there's going to be nothing here to really keep the Illyrian Reavers in check. They could kite the front line pretty quickly. So one thing that's going to be pretty interesting is shooting here up against the Plague Pack, the Regiment of Renown. They don't really have any armor, so having the Illyrian Reaver archers kind of blast them in the middle is going to be some really, really good stuff. So quick head taker in the middle, also have those bolts shooting forward. So they're going to be blasting through the line here of the Storm Vermin Sword and Shield. There's just a lot of range here. Now one thing that's quite nice for the Skaven is that they're fixed on the 3 points of the Eagle Claw bolt throwers. It looks like my YouTube has gone down. Let's just double check that this is still working correctly. Sorry boys, just give me a minute, just going to make sure that this is working correctly. Let me take my phone off the Wi-Fi if I can. Give the Wi-Fi a little bit more power if we wouldn't mind. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Let's just double check, make sure you guys are up to... Just want to double check that the stream is going well. On my side of things, I'm about a minute behind. Same laggy's better now. Alright, we'll give it a second. Really apologies guys, I don't know what's going on with the internet. I think the weather here has been pretty rough. Hopefully it stabilises a minute. It's now smooth for you? Yeah, it says YouTube's not receiving enough video. I'll receive it. On my end, it says there's no data. Okay, we're going to try and carry on, and hopefully it's okay. So we're shooting in the front here, and the nice thing here for going to throw them into the wind, you can see at the front here, skirmishing really well. Sword and shields getting blasted, Skaven Slave Spears are being ignored, and there's going to be a lot of damage. Spirit Leech on Queek Head Taker, you know, really, really good targets. Queek can't heal. The Assassin's pretty close. I don't really know where the Assassin is going to be all that effective here in this matchup. Very nice here to have the Archmage of Death in the sky. I think that's a really smart way of doing it. Liam Reaver's going to be kiting, but the Wolf Rats are pretty close. It's now laggy again. Okay. Yeah, it's suffering. Yeah, I'm now back to error. Don't know if you guys can still see me well. Okay, let's try and keep going. So the front Storm Vermin now going to be fighting up against the Spearmen. But Spearmen have a pretty good high melee defense. They're going to hold pretty true. Queek's now in the middle. But I don't really know where Queek is going to... I don't know what he's going to do here. There's nowhere really for him to call home. They could try and push into the back. We see the Escher Sorcerer is going to be using that Unspottable ability. And we do have Armor of the Stars, or the Warp Star, so we might be able to get in and do some work there. So the Plague Pack is going to move through. They'll butcher the Spearmen pretty quickly. They also have that contaminated effect. That -10 leadership can be quite handy indeed. Spirit Leech is going to be again on Queek, which is you know, so brutal. In the backside here, Rat Ogre's going to be kind of hanging around, acting all cool. The Ishka's Triads now do manage to get onto the Elira and Reavers, which is going to be you know, some pretty good stuff. Lothar Seaguard firing in the middle. They're going to be shooting down the Storm Vermin, the Sword and Shield, as come through the Skaven Slave Spears. Now, we don't have any summons, sadly, as we're going to be having an Escher Sorcerer. Castle Guard Storm Vermin do pop through here with Queeky Queek. And the Assassin, I'm not sure what he's using here. There is some ability going on with him, but I don't know what it is. I think he's using the Rival High Talisman, but no one's in that aura, unfortunately. So Rat Ogres do get through, which is really awesome. They're on the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. They're going to wreck that rather quickly. Liver Reavers in the backside with the Weeping Blades, apparently. So that'll be the ones that were getting smashed there by the Escher Triads. Lothar Seaguard going to be firing at the front. Skaven Slave Spears just kind of hanging around here a little bit. You know, there's a little bit of a pocket there for them to get in and around. And I think it's going to be another Spirit Leech on the front there on Queek. Stand your ground, the Vermin of Valor going to be giving all the leadership bonuses. But, you know, that Spirit Leech caster, you know, it's really paying for itself. Ratogre's fighting in the middle here up against the Lothar Seaguard. Good melee defense, and that bonus was large with the spears in the back pocket. With the Livery of Archers also shooting in here up against the monstrous infantry. So we do break the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. Lothar Seaguard shooting in the middle. And, you know, Liam and Reavers here going to be going forward and shooting. Spearman holding here. Lothar Seaguard fighting up against Skaven Slaves. So just most things here going to be compromised. Wolf Rats get in, though. Quite happy about that. So Wolf Rat's going to be charging down up against the Illyrian Reaver Archers. And, you know, trying to do some good work over there. Awesome, Grats. Awesome. Thank you very much for telling me. So, in the backside, we have Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower crew that is going to be returning. It's going to be returning. That Weeping Blades there has been activated. But it looks like... It's a lot gone down. Balance of power really shifting. I wonder how much of that is actually going to be Queek. You can see the Plague Pack in the backside. They got blasted a little bit by the Lothar Seaguard. That could be those over pretty quickly. But Spearman coming back into the middle. The Escher Sorcerer is going to be here ready to go, but he's now going to get sniped by the big flying chicken. The Ishka's Triads do dive down here. Now if we pulled through, and look, we actually get the mirror image as well summoned. So we're now going to be on the Archmage of Death. Oh, if the Lord goes down, nah, she's going to get away. That big chicken is way too fast. So the chicken gets away. Someone really tried. I just don't think it's going to be enough here. We now want to compromise as much as we can. The assassin is going to be fighting here in the middle. I think Queek is dead. Queek is dead, right? It won't tell me. But I think Queek is dead. I can't see him. So I'm assuming he's dead. So Eagle Claw Ball Throw shooting to the front here up against the Storm Vermin as they're getting broken here off the edge of the map. Faded Buna in the backside, that's going to be catching on the Council Guard. Really good spell there on that very strong unit. And the Archmage Death is going to be doing pretty well here so far. So she's going to be up to 1922, 2,200 value there just from a Death Caster is, you know, rather good there for sure. And the back here, the Loft and Sea Guard are going to be breaking alongside those Rat Ogres. That's going to be army losses. GG's are well played here with the Storm Vermin going to be the last of the group holding. And, you know, they'll get shot here to death pretty quickly. So just to try and remember who that was. Rylan. So Rylan, not seen you before, Rylan, but yeah, really good stuff there from you. Let's get a look at the 2,500 there for the Archmage. So if anybody that's new here in the game, Death Magic is something that I would really recommend for you. Spirit Leech, Faded Buna, like Faded Buna on units such as the Council Guard, Storm Vermin. The playpack here, the Regiment of Renown is really good. The Ishka's Triads is really nice. You know, these really expensive units just get deleted by the spell. Spirit Leech on Quake, who just cannot defend himself against that. You know, against, you know, especially, you know, Lords and Heroes that can't challenge or have any sort of healing in their roster, which, you know, certainly Skaven struggles with. So the Death Magic there is really strong. It's click, done. You know, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You know, once it's put on something, it does the damage for you, does all the calculations. You go on to go do whatever else it is that you have to do. So 740, 700, and 280 there for the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. 600, 500, 800, 600, 200 there for the Loft and Sea Guard. 650, 500, 500, 470 there for the Illyrian Reavers, with 300 for the regular unit. 51, 170, 275, 140, and 240 there for the Spearmen. 500, 330, and 500 there for the Regiments of Renown. 450, 440 there for the Storm Vermin with the Sword and Shield. 850 for the Eshin Sorcerer. 200 for the Assassin, and 200 for Quick Head Taker. 460 and 200 there for the Wolf Rats. And yeah, not really too much else to write about. So let's update the scores on the board. So it's going to be 4-0 here to the GGX. Hey, Aldomo! Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. So it looks like it's doing well. Okay, cool. Here on my home screen, it has frozen a little bit, but it looks like according to you guys, it's doing well, which is good. So we have the Clan War here. So I believe this is going to be the Domination game. So I don't know who played. So there's only one Domination game, but the one Domination game here is going to be Wicked D as the Demons going up against Orange Pest as the Empire. So let's get a little look at these armies. So War Wagons, which I think are still tremendous. I really like War Wagons. We are going to have a great cannon here. What map are we on? The Black Ark, which is a pretty good one. The Sigmar Sons, Swordsman, and some Spearmen. In the backside here, we are going to have the Soul Grinders of tzeentch. The Grand... okay, we got the Grand Prince. Okay, very interesting. Who's going to have the Stream of Corruption, but that seems to be it. That's very good. Fleshhounds, Blue Horrors, Nurglings, Seekers. Yeah, there's not much armor to this build, and you can see here just the regular Chaos Furies coming forward. Dibonettes of Slanesh, Blue Horrors, and that seems to be it. So on the backside, Free Company Militia, I do quite like these bad boys. Huntsmen, Great Cannons, Empire Knights just for the heavily armoured roadblocks, the Silver Bullets for the magic ammunition, with more War Wagons, the Helmstorm rocket batteries, and then more Huntsmen. Let's get invested. This was just a fun clan war, as far as I'm aware, Cypher. As far as I'm aware, it was just a fun clan war. Yeah. So just about loaded in. So one of the things that the Demons of Chaos really do struggle with is their ability to have armor. They really do suffer with that. So out of the rep on the side here, we are going to have some Nurglings come into the battlefield. These bad boys, many plentiful in number. Oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Didn't even know I could do that. Right, yeah, so they're going to be plentiful in number. Oh, apparently only 60 models. Why have they only got 60 models, the Nurglings? I thought they had more than that. Oh, I thought Nurglings had... I thought they had like 160. Have I got the wrong units? Oh, I thought they had more models than that. Maybe not. Okay, so War Wagon's going to dive forward. Now, War Wagons, they're going to have quite a few targets here to go for. They can kind of shoot whatever they like. Let's get a look at this bad boy. I haven't seen him yet. The big Nurgle guy. He's relatively fast. Doesn't really bring too much. So Children of Nurgle plus the Stream of Corruption. Maybe just healing map wide is what we're looking for here. Now we have a bit of a choice. So we could send one infantry unit over to the left here to dominate point 3 and hold 1. But it looks like we're going to stack all in the middle here as the Empire. Now Burris Todbringer is going to come forward here on the battlefield. He's going to have the Midland Runefang for a bit of healing. The White Cloak of Ulrich for that negative speed and melee attack. And of course Blood Roar, which really helps here alongside that Terror. You're given that plus. I think that negative 21 on the leadership, which is quite strong. So Nurgling's diving forward. Blue's going to be on the point. Blue's can hold this for sure. Definitely want to see a bit of an earlier rotation here on Domination Point 3. We've got that there. Blue Horrors are going to get there, but they're going to be a little bit late. So the Swordsmen of the Empire are going to be charging forward here with the Sigmar Sons. Probably sending in the Sigmar Sons second, otherwise they're just going to get blasted for free, the same as any other unit against these Blue Horrors. Blue Horrors here getting shot, I think, by War Wagons? Must be. On the backside, Silver Bullet's going to get summoned. We have some Grand Cannons in the backside ready to go. And they're going to be blasting Sheiks here in the middle. So Blue's not going to be taking point 3, but we see some Nurglings coming forward. Looks like Fleshhound's going to maybe do the trick. But looks like the War Wagons did rotate. Okay, interesting to see. So we see double Soul Grinders coming over. Soul Grinders is going to be a bit of a nice counter here to the War Wagons. War Wagons have decent range there at 130. But they're not quite Soul Grinders at 250 with that bonus for large as well. You might get a blast or two here in the backside. Ooh, that's some lovely damage there on the War Wagons. Yeah, good stuff there coming in from the I think it was Geese Howard. Sorry guys, let me double check. I think oh, it's Wicked D. It's Wicked D. I think right? It's got to be Wicked D. Yes, Wicked D. So it's not going to get a nice explosion spell here in the middle. It's like going to be like a Dweller's Blow or something from the Healing Caster. Yes, it is. So Dweller's Blow there from the Jade Wizard. Also with Earthblood and the Power Stone. So absolute destruction here in the middle. And we see a bunch of the Swordsmen now moving on to the point. As we find that we have Nurglings on the side. Free Company Militia are going to be blasting the Nurglings here in the middle. And it looks like we are going to be taking a big red coming forward here. As we're going to be shooting down up against these spearmen that don't have any shields. Now we've got to be careful. The cannons are going to turn and burn here when the Soul Grinders come out to play. But they should get some good shots here on the War Wagons. Grand Vomitus. Yeah, I know. He's great, right? He's great. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, look! We have the stuff at the top. That's really, really awesome. So 1,200 value there from the Orange Pest. And the man, the myth, the Tyrannid, Wicked D, is now going to be diving down with some of the Chaos Furies, pinning them in place, which is quite good, so we can now get the Soul Grinders to come through and, blast the cheeks, as it were. Grand Cannons can fire across, but we see the Silver Bullets now going to be raining hell on the Soul Grinders, but we have units diving forward that will, certainly give the Silver Bullets a bit of a challenge. Now, Domination Point 1 is going to be in the favour here of the Grand Empire, But, you know, we see 1,000 tickets for Orange Pest. 600 get summoned. So what do we have here? What's coming in at the top? Oh, some of the flagellants are going to dive forward here. The unbreakable men of Sigmar are going to charge forward here and, you know, do what they do best. Nurglin's going to be whittling here rather quickly as we see some Empire Knights charging out. Now, Empire Knight could be a bit of a problem. Nurgle is fighting here against the Free Company Militia. Free Company Militia can fight pretty well in combat, I must say so. And now we're going to be blasting here up against Grand Vomitus. Diving back is going to be the Soul Grinders. At least they've done you know, maybe a little bit of damage here on the War Wagons. They're looking relatively healthy, though, I have to say so. Question is, you know, we are going to see some Nurglings, yeah, around, but you know, we're going to see them kind of getting compromised by the majority of the Empire army. So where are the Soul Grinders going? Now they're going to try and maybe come back round over here to fight, possibly, to maybe try and keep back these War Wagons, because they give a bit of a nightmare there for the Prince here. So Fleshhounds are out. Fleshhounds will keep the War Wagons back in their box. These are going to get blasted if they're not careful, though. Oh, I mean, they do have physical resistance, so which is going to be pretty decent. Although I actually can't see how much they have, which is a bit annoying. I think it's 20%. But yeah, they're going to dive forward on the War Wagons. Pretty decent weapon strength here. The bad boys, 65. It's pretty annoying. I can't see any of the stats for some reason. But in the middle, Free Company Militia are going to return over here into Domination Point 3. But we have Nurglings to kind of meet them and intercept them on routes. In the middle, Fleshhounds here going to be fighting up against Empire Knight, but, you know, kind of not having a great time of it. Huntsmen have been summoned at the top. The anti-large snipers themselves will do very well against Fleshhounds. But here we go. Chaos Furies get summoned on the battlefield. 6,000 damage here for Orange Pest, going up against 2,600 from the Tyrannid, otherwise known as Wicked E. I think Wicked E here could be in a bit of trouble. Mr. Down Under Blunger, how are we? Good morning. It's good evening here. It's 8:40 in the evening here for me. So War Wagons in the middle. They're now getting free yet again, which is a bit of a shame, unfortunately. Haven't seen too many streams of Corruption. Wouldn't mind seeing some of these down the line of the Swordsman, but of course, you know, you've got to keep these War Wagons at bay. Shooting around the corner here with these Soul Grinders. I wonder where most of the value of this is coming from. I can't see because the game seems to have glitched a little bit, which is a bit annoying. But on the bottom, Silver Bullets, Huntsmen, and Flagellants diving forward. Flagellants would be a bit irritating to deal with because, you know, of course, they're unbreakable. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So we could be seeing the triple cap coming through here. 7.2k up against 3,000. 700 tickets for Wicked D. 600 there at the sun at the top. We are going to get another Chaos Fury summon. But where do we go with it? So it looks like Nurgling's going to be fighting here up against the Huntsman. They're going to dive in there pretty nicely. Do the Furies go after the Grand Cannons? Because Grand Cannons here, it looks like they're going to be going after... Oh, they are going to be shooting the Soul Grinder. Okay. Free Company are diving forward, like their life depends on it, with some more Nurglings in the backside. Domination Point 3 at the bottom does get taken. And Grand Cannon's still going, but the Furies... they are going to dive on this one, okay. And to counter that, Empire Knights have been summoned to charge down here up against these Furies here in the middle. What they need to do is try and break as quickly as possible on these Grand Cannons. You see, look how much he's diving forward. They are going to break it. You probably want to try and get out if you can. For the most part, nah, they're going to get sandwiched. That's really unfortunate. They're going to die there, unfortunately. But, you know, they did the hero's work of the Demons of Chaos, that's for sure. They took down one of the big Grand Cannons, so a bit of money is going to be invested to get that back. But Domination Point 3 here is being held. I think that's probably GG's. That's probably all she wrote. I don't know if I see much coming back here, unfortunately. I don't know if I see a way back into this. Swords I'm going to be holding at the front. We still have the Unbreakable Sons of Sigmar here in the middle. Double Soul Grinders as each, you know, really, really good, but they're just getting dominated by the combination of Grand Cannons, Empire Knights, and everything else, etc. Where's Grand Vomitus? Here he is. Grand Vomitus is at the top. The old stream coming down the line here, the Free Company Militia. But one Grand Cannon here still going to be firing up against these Soul Grinders. That's an awful lot of troops here down the bottom. They could get up and round here and be quite a bit of a nightmare. But, yeah, on the field, we're going to be having 22 units going up against 7. And I think here, I think as much as we might try, I don't see a way back in here for the Demons of Chaos. I see it being relatively tough. At the top, more Nurglings getting summoned to the battlefield. Grand Vomitus in the backside here, kiting with the Soul Grinders. Nurglings in the middle, just going to get compromised by pretty much everything the Empire has to offer. 1.8k in the backside here for Orange Pest. Maybe just waiting for a couple of units to regen, but we're right in the back spawn now, unfortunately. Soul Grinders going to be diving forward. Free Company are coming to meet them. And we have Huntsmen ready to go. Huntsmen could certainly blast the breakers off of these Soul Grinders. Boris is going to be fighting here in the backside up against the Nurglings. What do we have here? So Furies will come forward. Stream of Corruption down the line here of these Silver Bullets. That's some lovely damage. And then we'll collapse on with the Furies, which is going to be really nice. Grand Vomiters has taken quite a bit of damage there. And we can see Huntsman, Free Company Militia blasting up against the Chaos Furies. It's just gunfire, arrows, all sorts of powder being kind of leaved here into the sides, fronts and backs of all these Furies. So a couple of units getting summoned at the bottom here. Some swordsmen. I don't know what happened here with these bad boys. Looks like they came up and round. But I think Boris here could probably get in and finish off these Soul Grinders if he wanted to. But I think we could probably have... Oh, I actually can't click on anything. So we're just going to have to watch it as it goes. I can't even skip. I can now. Okay. I think a bit of a skip on here is probably necessary. 5,000 up against 11,500. Boris is going to be cleaning up the Nurglings. These Nurglings are trying to charge forward. We see Grand Vomitus. He is fighting up against the Spearmen. The Nurglings get caught up against the Empire Knights. Empire Knights should finish us off, pretty quickly. Just because the Nurglings just... I think they have, like, almost no AP, right? Oh, they have 4. That's actually not terrible. It's not terrible. Yeah, so Boris is now going to be fighting up against the Nurglings. One of the Soul Grinders fighting up against the Empire Knights. The other one must have been taken care of. And the War Wagons coming across here to probably finish up the Soul Grinders. I'm doing well, thanks, brother. How are you? Hope you're doing very well, my friend. So, 1,300 for Grand Vomitus, with 650 and 1,080 there for the Soul Grinder. 140 for the Flesh Hounds. 150, 400, 180, 300 for the Blue Horrors, and 300 for the Nurglings. 170, 260 for the Flesh Hounds. Not very much here. I mean, 440, 450 for the Furies. We didn't see any Demonettes. And okay values here. So 160, 290, 600, 400 for the Nurglings. Grand Cannons, 560. 900, 600, 1000 for the War Wagons, 360, 350 for the Hero and the Caster, 350, 180, 250, and 450 for the Swordsman, with 114 for the Sigma Sons. In the backside, we didn't actually manage to see the Helmstorm Rocket Battery. 440 for the Grand Cannon, 900, 880 there for the Huntsman, 200 for the Flagellants, 580, 300 for the Free Company Militia, and the Cavalry, going about 450 to 800. Alright, so that's going to be 5 there for GGX. And then we're going to have Beastmen versus the Warriors of Chaos. Be a very, very interesting one. Hey, Mr. Casual, how are we? Still getting on my feet after the hospital trip last week, doing epic other than that. Nice, man. Good to hear you doing epic. Yes, this does look like the video game called Warhammer 3. Stop being weird. Sorry, my studios is being a bit weird. It does not like where I'm at. Okay, cool. That should be updated, ready to go. It does, Mr. Casual, it does. So we've done the only domination game. So now, let's just double check who these players are. So we're going to be having Warriors of Chaos as Geese Howard. I thought that was the 2v2 though. Oh, we did have one 2v2. We did have one. Oh, I don't think I have the 2v2 on here, do I? Oh, I do have the 2v2. And who am I missing? Ah, Ninja's High Elves. I don't have Ninja's High Elves on here. Yes, I have to grab that. Let me grab that now before I forget. Ninja's High Elves. Ninja, ninja, ninja. I did talk to you, Ninja. I'm 99% sure. Ninja Penguin. Where did I talk to you? Where did you give me this replay? Did Spartan give it to me? Ah, okay, there we go. So it should be in downloads now. Ah, so that was VP versus the High Elves. Okay. Let me wallop that in my data pool. Replays, and boom. There we go. Should have that now. There we go. So, Beastmen versus the Warriors of Chaos, which is going to be an interesting one. So it's Geese House, Warriors of Chaos going up against Spartan's Beastmen. Very interesting. So we're going to see a... Now this is a matchup that I really like to see a Deathcaster in, especially up against the Beastmen. Like Spirit Leeching on Taurox is really good. It's really good because there's just nothing you can do about it. Like, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. A land battle game, is that even allowed? So this one was 6 land battles. 1 2v2 land battle, and what else was it? You know, I can't remember. Oh, 1 domination, yeah. Yeah, so it's 1 domination, 1 2v2, and then 6 1v1s on land battles. So Tower of Hoeth, Spartan versus Geese. I think Centaurs are quite bold here. So let's give it a little look at the map. So I think Chaos Sorcerer Metal, we are going to have Final Transportation, good choice. Evasion alongside Scholar Shielding and the Forbidden Rods, which I think certainly got a bit of a... Yeah, it did get a bit of a reduction, I believe. Armored Chaos Trolls, I think are an interesting one. I think I definitely would have... I think the meta way to play this, right? So I'm going to say, quote-unquote, the meta way... is lots of Hellstriders. I think Hellstriders here just absolutely dumpster most things that you can bring. Like Hellstriders just going to butcher Centaurs, and then you just go loads of skirmish cav, cheap infantry, and you win pretty much. Hey Matthew. Matthew, with your question about flagellants, do you like them in? Do you want me to answer that in domination or land battles? Let me know. Let me know, and I'll give you my answer. Or maybe I'll give you my answer for both, but I'd rather answer what you want to know rather than give you an answer you don't really care about. So I quite like this. Butchers and the Minotaurs on the right side with Taurox. So Forbidden Rod and the Scroll of Shielding getting activated immediately. That's obviously only a one-time use for 57 seconds. That is going to negate the amount of damage he does take from the Forbidden Rod, which I think is interesting. Well, but maybe we would have liked to see that on Sigvald, perhaps. So we're fighting in the front here. So Hellstriders go in and fight here, but it allows them to get countercharged by the Warhounds and the Centaurs. And you've only got one unit, so that's going to be quite a bit of damage. Marauding Horsemen definitely want to be shooting in the front here where we can, but Centaurs in the back. What have we got here? So Centaurs coming around the side. Armored Chaos Trolls, really offer a good bit of, kind of mass here in the middle. Brave Shaman, the Jagged Dagger, we're going to be having Traitorkin, which is going to be catching all of these units. And then we're going to be having, that's it, so that and the Jagged Dagger, which Jagged Dagger certainly has seen better days. Oh, nice Javelins in return. The Brave Shaman certainly felt that. Centaurs in the backside. So there's going to be a lot joining here as well. So we see Butchers and all that. If we can get an Overcast Final Transportation here, that would be absolutely fantastic. So Chaos Warhound's going to be fighting in the middle. Metal Sorcerer is quite close. Sigvald needs to get over here ASAP. But we do see some of the Halberds ready to, give a bit of action back here up against the Minotaurs. But the Butchers take out guard, really high melee defense, 56, which is super strong. We see Butchers here going to get supported by some bonuses of Torok. So Torok's going to have the Brass Body. He's also going to have the Slaughter's Call, which gives that melee attack and leadership bonuses there with a bit of charge additions. In the backside, a lot of the Skirmish Cavalry is going to get broken here. Chaos Warhound Centaur is going to be chasing off everywhere. And Final Transportation does get cast. It is going to be upgraded, which I think gives you about a 10% efficiency. Mr. Casual, how are you? Hope you're doing really well, my friend. 350 Zar. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Here, use this to bribe Say into buffing Ogres and Norska for me. Yeah, to be fair, man, I had a couple of games with Norska the other day, and actually they're super fun, bro. Super fun. I really enjoyed using Norska. The Wolf Boys are certainly my favourite for sure. So Chaos Warhound's going to be diving in, but it looks like the Halberd's going to be pushing back a few units of the Ungor Spearmen. More to the middle of the Chaos Mesos Caster. So Silver Slash has been activated on Sigvald. Sigvald's got a bit of everything here, actually. Paragon, yeah, he's gone quite expensive on Sigvald here. Torx in the middle is going to be poisoned. Poison coming in from the Hellstriders. Sigvald's fighting, and he's going to have that Armor Sundering, which is going to be really good up against Torx, but 130 armor is a lot to penetrate. On the backside, we see the Brave Shaman. He's going to be struggling down to 1.4k. In the middle, it's a bit of a blob fight here, with the Butchers also fighting here up against Sigvald. Now, if they get those big battle axes up against Sigvald, they can do lots and lots of damage. But Sigvald in return also will butcher those Minos. In the middle, I see a lot of effects going down here. We do Terrify up against the Chaos Armored Trolls. Now, of course, they have regen, so we should be seeing those coming back rather quickly, but they don't really have much leadership on their side. Armored Chaos Trolls, one there. So it's 3 Armored Chaos Trolls in total, which is rather interesting. Warhounds in the mixture. Sigvald's going to be fighting here on his own. He's got a couple of Marauders to help. Where did Torx go? So Torx is the backside. He's going to be rotating with the Butchers and the rest of his Minos. Getting away are going to be some of the Centaurs. They're going to be backed up by Chaos Warhounds. It's a little bit difficult to tell with the black on black here. But in the middle, Chaos Armored Trolls going to be healing quite nicely. They've got pretty decent armor, I must say. What is this going to be? That's going to be an Overcast Traitorkin. Oh, that is so much value! Oh, there's so much value. That's going to be Overcast as well. That's a lot of value there in the middle. That's a lot of... Look at the balance of power. Did you see that shift? That was terrifying. So here in the middle, Chaos Warhound's also going to get the cycle charge on the Halberds. They need to break those Halberds. They have broken them quite nicely. Now, where are these bad boys going? So they're going to be chasing off the Armored Trolls. They have broken. There's a couple units in behind here. They are going to be regenning as they get away. They got quite far to go, though, before they actually break off the edge of the map. More Armored Trolls going to be breaking here, and just going to be clearing up the backside quite nicely. Sigvald is going to come across, but of course he's quite slow. The Chaos Sorcerer has broken. What can we do here on the Brave Shaman? The Seafold gets a beautiful hit in here. We could do really well. Oh, lovely hit on the Brave Shaman. That's a lovely hit on the Brave Shaman. Down to 8 leadership. Torox is coming in. He's going to be bringing the caster with me. He says, hey here, big boy, you're coming with me. And yeah, that's what the caster is going to get away. The Torox moving into the middle, trying to protect the Brave Shaman. I don't know who wins there between Sigfold and Torox. I think with Sigfold, with all of his kit, probably wins. But I don't know. So it looks like here Chaos Warhound's going to move across. Wouldn't mind seeing the Chaos Warhounds coming after the Brave Shaman. I would quite like to see that. Brave Shaman is going to break here. In the backside, though, I want this fight. I want Sigfold to be fighting here up against Torox. I want it, and I want it now. 50 speed up against 64. Yeah, he's not really going to catch too quickly. Centaur's in the backside. It looks like the Warhound's just trying to protect the metal caster, who has leadership here. He has 40 leadership. He should return. He should return. Bounty Power going to be in the GGX favour. Marauders and Halberds diving into the middle. Ungle's Spearman here going to be challenging. Just kind of holding these bad boys back. Poison would do quite nicely in the middle, just to kind of debuff as many units as you can. Centaur's going to be chasing off the Armoured Chaos Trolls. Really healthy, but of course, they are broken. So Sigfold's going to be close. Looks like the Metal Caster, just for the life of him, is not going to return. The Brave Shaman does on 11 leadership. And there we go. Centaurs are going to be in there now, and they'll finish him off rather quickly, I think. I think there's not a lot you can do there, unfortunately. So for the Beastmen in the middle here, they're going to be fighting, breaking back some of the Marauders. Halberds still going to be fighting the Chaos Warriors, decent armor values. But I think just mass attrition of numbers is going to be eventually tracking them down. I think if you poke something enough with the spear, it will eventually fall. And it looks like Minos here and the Butchers of Kalkengard just healing in the backside, which is absolutely terrifying, I have to say so. Centaurs, Chaos Warhounds going to be fighting here, but Centaurs will win that rather quickly. When you also consider... it looks like actually the Chaos Warhounds are fresh, but Centaurs stay fresh the entire game, thanks to having those figure bonuses. Torox coming across, and I think here an absolutely valiant effort from Geese Howard. Yeah, I wonder. I really like the Armored Chaos Trolls, but that's a tough one there. Do you use balls with dual wielding? I don't personally. I'll explain why in a minute for you. So I'm going to say it again, Dom. Oh, Dom. Yeah, no problem, Matthew. No problem. We'll get onto that. CA bribe incoming. Yeah. So thank you very much, man, for the donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's really kind of you. Of course, you didn't have to do that, but that's really kind of you. So thank you there. Yeah, so I'll explain in a minute why I personally don't use them, and also it's very much match dependent, but we'll go through it. We'll go through it. So 2,400 for the Brave Shaman, just being blobbed there, just got so much value. 2 overcasts and it was done. 450 there for Torox. Metal Caster 917. So you can obviously see that blob effect incoming. I really think in this matchup, just Death Caster would have been really nice. Fated Buna could have gone down on some of the Centaurs. And that would have done quite nicely there. And then just constantly Spirit Leeching on Torox all the time. Spirit Leech, Spirit Leech, Spirit Leech, Spirit Leech. Or just Spirit Leech on a caster who's on horseback that can just run around and just Spirit Leech Torox to death. Just Spirit Leech, Spirit Leech, Spirit Leech, and just make his life a nightmare. And then Sigfold should be able to finish from there. And so Armored Chaos Trolls, 520, 400, 300. I don't think they quite have... I really like the Halberd picks. Chaos Warrior Halberd's really good. I would have traded in these Armored Chaos Trolls for more Hellstriders and then just brought more Marauders. I think that's probably the way I would have taken that, and then taken 2 Chaos Warrior Halberds. That probably would have been quite good there. Sigfold also came with quite an expensive kit, for sure. 460, 670, 550, 300, and 100 there for the Ungor Spearman. Regular Ungors, 450, 150, 270, and 300 there for the Warhounds of Poison, and 260, 1,000, 250, 1,000, and 505 for the Centaurs. Yeah, not too much elsewhere. So it's going to be the big 6 on the bog there for the GGX boys. Yeah, so we'll quickly go into a question for Matthew and for you, Mr. Casual. So multiplayer lobbies, host battle. So for the Beastmen, I think you've got to sum up the strengths and weaknesses of all units. So we've got a couple of elements in here. So let's grab a bit of everybody. Grab a bit of everybody. Where's my boys? Where are they? Oh, they're down here. So if we just wallop everybody else off here. So you obviously have 4 different types of the Minotaurs. 16 models, pretty decent health overall. So obviously with the shields, you can see you've got the regular Minotaurs. These are without shields. They should be where's the shielded ones? Where's my shielded boys? Is that those ones? Yeah. They're the shields. Cool. We'll put the shields there. So you've got 2 shields. So if you go regular Minos compared to the ones with shields, so you can look at that melee defense. So they get less charge bonus. So for the same value, you get +2 charge bonus for the Minotaurs, but you lose 13 melee defense, and then you also lose 10 armor and the silver shield. So the silver shield is going to be really, really strong because it's going to give you, I think it's like 55% against all small missiles. So being they've got quite light armor anyway, they're going to get shot constantly by other units such as archers, etc. So it just makes them that infinitely more tanky, and the 10 extra armor, is quite nice just in general anyway. The other one is that 13 melee defense. Melee defense trades more valuably than melee attack. So as melee attack goes through the vigor stage from fresh to exhausted, when you get to exhausted you lose 30% of your melee attack, whilst the same is only 10% for melee defense. So having really high melee defense is good for overall tankiness and duration. So the only reason why I would not pick regular Minos, but I would pick the great weapons, is the great weapons come with that bonus first large. Most of the Minotaurs here with the anti-infantry, it's going to be great, right? I think the only way you're going to see Minotaurs getting any better value compared to their shielded brothers is against a really elite infantry with high melee defense. Like, with really high melee defense. Of which things, for example, if you take any caster, Spirit caster, whatever it may be, Faedif Buna can do quite well, Traitor King can do really well. Oh, you meant the ogres, not beastmen. Oh, sorry, I misunderstood. I do apologise. So you're talking about ogre balls versus ogre ball dual weapons? Yeah. Yeah, I certainly do use these for sure. Something really valuable for the ogre balls, because they've got relatively low leadership. I see a lot of people play them with a triple gold chevron. So when you compare these two for a very similar value, you get, obviously better stats with 10, 8, 8, and there's only kind of 80 in between them. So I see a lot of people play like this, but I think, do I use ogre ball dual weapons? Yes, if I need to be wider. I think regular ogre balls do quite nicely. With the triple gold chevron, can be really, really good. Yes, I think you need Noblars though as well. I've seen many people kind of play like this. They have some effect like this. Or if you want some more anti-infantry power, then a lot of people play like this. And they have like Noblars looking after the ogre balls. So yes, I think so, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, no problem, dude. No problem at all. Yeah, I think the dual weapons, for example, I think most people prefer using the ogre ball iron fists. So what you can see here between the two is you get added melee defense, added armor, and added shields, which is where a lot of people use iron fists rather than dual weapons. If you've got some basic mid-tier infantry that you need to cleave through pretty quickly, that some infantry that has high melee defense. So for example, what would be a very good example of this unit? So someone like dwarfs, right? For example, if you wanted to fight up against, so if we said someone, let's say dwarf warriors or longbeards, you can see these boys aren't really anti-large, but they have high melee defense. So it's going to be really hard for them to successfully hit. And you can see they've actually got really low melee attack. So I think dual weapons could do quite nicely against dwarf warriors. That's where you certainly see them doing quite well. And the nice thing here about not the Beastmen, sorry. The Ogre Kings. Nice thing about the anti-infantry status, that bonus versus infantry, is if we look here, it gives a bonus versus infantry of 12. That's also the weapon strength as well. That base weapon damage increases, so they're actually going to be hitting harder as well. So they'll be doing much better against that infantry with a high melee defense. Yeah, they do play very, very different. So for anybody out there that might have some questions, there's certainly... So, for example, I think regular ogre balls do really nicely. If you need nothing specific, but you want monstrous infantry that's going to get in there and do really big burst damage, but it doesn't necessarily need to be against infantry with high melee defense, or it doesn't need to be against anything that's going to be shooting you or skirmishing you. Regular ogre balls will do fine if you want to save a bit of money. If you're coming against them with high melee defense, such as dwarfs, I think dual weapons do quite nicely. Because that bonus versus infantry 12 is no joke. Bonus versus infantry you'll find a lot lower than bonus versus large, but it's really important. And then my favourite of the three is the Ogre Ball Iron Fist, because overall melee defense is better, plus they're armoured and they have a shield, which makes them overall a little bit better. But of course it depends what style of play you're looking for. If you're looking for a rush, Ogre Balls is really good, because they're going to butcher through really quickly and get into that nice juicy pocket. Whilst these bad boys are going to be a little bit tankier and they're going to hold a little bit longer. So if you've got a backline such as the Powder Guts, or you've got some Lead Belchers in behind, having units such as Ogre Ball, Iron Fist with shields, more melee defense, they're going to hold longer. So your range units of the Lead Belchers, etc., are going to do the work. However, if you've gone for a build that's going to be maybe a bit of a rush, so you've got lots of Noblars with some dual weapons to burst that front line, and then you're going to be having some fast units around the sides. You might have some Saber Tusks. You might go with some Stone Horns or something like that. Maybe some cavalry as well. If you want to bring in like some Crushers or some Morfang cavalry, could be quite good. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. But hopefully, Mr. Casual, that answered your question. I hope that did. So yeah, there's a strong variance there between what you want them to do. I would say dual weapons are very good if you need a little bit more strength to help win that front line. If winning that front line is super important, that's certainly where I could see them doing quite well. Replays. So we saw this one, we saw the Beastmen one, yeah, really good stuff there. Valiant everything from Geese. He's not really a 1v1 kind of guy. Geese Howard really likes a 2v2. He really likes a 2v2, which is what we're going to see now. So we're going to be seeing Geese Howard, I believe, yeah, Geese Howard and Wicked D with the Beastmen Lizardmen matchup, going up against Gathay and the Warriors of Chaos, which is terrifying. That is a terrifying combo. Holy hell, that is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. I love ogres so much. Yeah, man, they're really cool. They're really cool. By the way, guys, just to let you know, because I don't really think I say this enough, maybe I'll do a video on it or something, but and I'm going to add it into my Discord. So if you're not on the Discord, do join. But I have a couple of... I do coaching for multiplayer. So some of the information that I was telling you there and coaching you through some builds, some ideas... The game is so massively wide, and there's lots of thought processes around getting better in the multiplayer scene. So whether you want to get better in Domination, or whether you want to get better in land battles, whatever it may be, if you guys want to do some coaching with me, I have a couple of guys that I coach at the moment, then do feel free to let me know. Do send me a message on Discord if that's something you might be interested in. I hope the Lizardmen Beastmen win this. Yes, really, really cool, right? So let's go through. We've got a Doom Ball. Doom Ball's quite nice. He has the dazed ability, so negative melee defense and speed. Could be really good at entrapping there. He's going to have the Barbed Knuckle Boxing, which is such an awesome name. Deadly Onslaught, and of course that Slaughter's cool. On the other side here, we are going to have the Axe of Men, which is Unbreakable and Terror for 46 seconds. I think it's unlimited. I think. Maybe it's a one-time use? It could be unlimited. It could be unlimited. So here you can see we're actually going to have the Minotaur Great Weapons. Looks like it's going to be a Bray Shaman with Traitorkin and the Jagged Dagger, and of course the Bestial Surge. I think the Bestial Surge is not best used here because there's only one spell that takes a bit of Winter Magic to get. But Centaur Great Weapons in the backside, 2 units of the Ungor Raiders, Ungor Herds, and lots of Ungor Spearmen. So you're going to see a lot of the infantry chaff here coming forward from the Beastmen side of things, from Geese, I would assume. On the top side, Pterodons mixed in with the Skink cohorts. The Red Crested Skinks, very strong, Unbreakable, Frenzy, and of course Refuse to Die. The nice thing about this combo, Frenzy, obviously 50% base, you lose it, but of course you're Unbreakable, so you're always going to have it. Basilodon Archosotek, the Spirit of Tepok, the Coatl, which is really cool, Lesser Banishment, Shield of Thorns as well here of the Mastery of the Sacred Places, which gives them Unspottable, which is quite nice. Lord Master Jungus, which I think is going to be on the leader of the Lizardmen here with the Greater Arcane Conduit, Net of Amtok, Apotheosis, Harmonic Convergence, the Ruination of Cities, Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, and yeah, all the good stuff, all the good stuff. Sorry, you did ask a question, Matthew. I totally forgot there. What a stupid... Yes, so yes, I definitely think Flagellants and Domination do have a place. That Unbreakable status in the right scenario is really good. I would definitely always have 1 or 2 in the back pocket. A, they're going to be fast because they have no armor, so they're really quick to domination points. And additionally, they're unbreakable, so they are going to hold forever. And they're going to... What you can do is you can use them as an unbreakable roadblock. What I like to do is I like to get the infantry to the front of that square, and then I push just past it, or have maybe a unit or 2 on, but don't let any of theirs on the square to capture it, and then that unbreakable unit just buys me time. It buys me as much time as possible to get anything I might need to over there to help it. Lovely defensive position here on the right hand side, but you can see the same here. They've both gone to the same side. That's hilarious. Right, so Marauders here in the front. Marauders going to be very strong. Curse Warrior Halberds backed up by Chaos Spawn. Hellstriders in the back, which are scary. In the sky, the Great Longmar Riders here with the Terracotta Sentinel, the big boy. We're going to have the Grand Cannons of Cathay, backed up here by the Crane Gunner Snipers. We're going to have Miao Ying here in the front. And you can see that the Severed Claw in the back. Who the hell? Oh, it's Festus. I saw his first time. I was like, who the hell? It's Dr. Festus. Here with the Fleshy Abundance, the Harbinger of Pestilence, and the Healing Elixirs. So actually, maybe getting a bit of healing here on the Sentinel. I don't know if that'll actually work. Maybe it will. I'm sure they've tested it. I'm sure they've tested it. So Regrowth. Talons of the Night here with the Wrath of the Storm and the Transformation of the Dragon. What else we got here? Disdain of the Dragons, all the other healing elements. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Very interesting. Now, one thing that's really nice here, I really like the Javelins. Skink cohort Javelins can do really well here up against those Marauders. Lots of damage, lots of damage. I'm not playing a while. I've not played in a while. I played A King of the Hill on here a while back, but busy with work. Yeah, I'm going to try and get a few more coming. Come join the server. Thank you very much, Muckluck. Appreciate that, buddy. I think this is Land Battles, no Dom. Matthew. Yeah, there was only one Dom game. There was one Dom game. We had one Dom game earlier, which was Demons of Chaos against the Empire. So Marauders diving forward. Cannon's going to be shooting here alongside some of the Crane Gunners. So if I'm the Crane Gunners, got to be blasting these Pterodons. But the problem is the Pterodons going straight down the pocket here. They're taking a lot of damage. These Pterodons really have been smashed quite hard. You definitely want them around the outside, flying around if you can. But yeah, there's not a lot to stop them from getting blasted here, unfortunately. Crane Gunners, they do have silver shields, so that's going to negate a lot of these small missiles incoming here for the Ungor Raiders. We are in the front line with the Skink cohort Javelins, but we have to dive forward. So Ungor Herds fighting here, Ungor Spearmen charging in as well. But what can we do here to stop the Grand Cannons? I don't know. I don't know. In the sky, only 3 of the Pterodons left, and these guys are getting blasted. Look at this! They are getting destroyed, man. No, and of course, yeah, we have the Great Longmars in as well. They are just getting absolutely shredded in the sky. So around the side, looks like the Doomball and the Goreball coming through here. Sentinel, great weapons here. Great weapons, an interesting choice. They could do quite well up against the Sentinels, but maybe they were expecting something heavily armoured. Maybe some Chaos Knights or something. Multiple great weapons getting shot here by the cannons. A really good targeting. The main thing that's going to take down the Terracotta Sentinel. Lord Master on the big Doom chair is going to be diving in. And here we go. Miao Ying is out and ready to go. So she's going to be diving around. Master's coming through. In the middle here, we are going to have some of the Chaos Warrior Halberds. They're going to be kind of helping to support up against the Sentinel. Now, the big bad great weapons of the Minotaurs, 12 models still going of 16, which is quite impressive. But we do see the Crane Gunners, they're going to be firing into it. What are we aiming for here? That's what we're aiming for the Coatl. So, Shield of the Old Ones going down for that 20% damage resistance. And it looks like the Sotek Poison has been activated, doing that tick damage over time. Top of the Crane Gunners in the back, they're going to be well protected here. Of course, there's going to be a massive focus on the left side. And there's nothing really coming in here on the right side. A lot of the Ungors going to be getting broken here, pushed out by these cheap Marauders. Some units coming around the side, but the Crane Gunners here just going to be going absolutely ham in the middle. And one focusing into the backside of Lord Mazdamundi for that Apotheosis. In the pocket, that's going to be a Traitorkin, catching quite a few. Quite nice there from Geesey Boy. But Ungors, they're going to be pushing through to try and see if they can compromise these Marauders. Javelins getting into position. They definitely need to compromise these Crane Gunners as quickly as possible. So we can look at the numbers here. This looks to be an extra 500 here from the side of the Beastmen and Co. In the middle, lots of Javelins going to be fighting to support here up against the Coatl. And so Miao Ying also going down here. Coatl, so the Harbinger. Oh, Harbinger Pestilence is going to be causing that damage. I see. Pestilence coming down in the middle. Bastiladon Arcus Sotek as well is going to be getting some good damage, but he'll also be suffering over time. Hellstriders fighting here up against some of the Ungor Spearmen. Lord Master in the pocket, and now we have the Ungor Raiders into position. I'm not too sure what they're shooting here. They're going to be shooting the Severed Claw, I believe. Coatl in the back dives down here on the Grand Cannons. Breaking that will be very nice indeed. Still remember the days there actually where you couldn't get the cannon crew back on. In the early days of the Warhammer game, which was a rather sad sight to see. But on the backside here we can see the terrifying of the two Crane Gunners, but we have nothing really to pick them up. Maybe some Ungor Spearmen to get around the corner, but we need to pick up these Crane Gunners as quickly as possible. 1,300 on one, and then 900 on the other. Really good values, really good values. In the middle, Shield of the Old Ones has been activated for that damage resistance. But coming back, it's going to be the Great Longmar Riders. Miao Ying going to be flying around. The Coatl using some of those fantastic animations. The Harmonic Convergence giving some great stats there to the beautiful flyer. Wouldn't mind seeing it coming off the Longmars though. That'll actually be quite decent there. In the middle we see, of course, the Doomball moving around here with the Gorball. Doomball probably could actually get onto Festus here. I really wouldn't mind seeing them getting on Festus. Where's he going to go? He's got nowhere to go, right? We have netted Miao Ying here in the middle. She's not going to be having a great time. Doomball's going to dive in. The Coatl's kind of getting in the way here, but Lord Master is close by for a bit of support. Not the best melee combatant, but I'm sure he can get in there and do what he does best. Crane Gunners going to be finding their sights again. Chaos Spawn in the back fighting alongside some Warrior Halberds. We see some of the Skink Cohort Javelins fighting up against the Chaos Warriors. But what do we have in the backside here to clear up? We really need some units if we could get them. Longmar's going to be chasing off the Ungor Raiders. Hellstriders coming back into the fight after breaking the Bray Shaman of Wild. In the middle is going to be a humongous fight here. So Miao Ying goes down to her normal self. Bit of healing there for the healing elixirs. And it's like, I think that's going to just be a lesser banishment. Maybe targeting... Yeah, maybe just targeting the Warrior Halberds. We sadly break there with the Bastiladon Arcus Sotek. I think there we pushed off with the Terracotta Sentinel. In the middle, we're now going to be on Festus fighting here. We see the Dazed ability going down, reducing that melee defense and speed. The damage resistance has now been activated with the Shield of the Old Ones. The Gorball fighting here up against some of the infantry, but the Sentinel comes in and butchers Lord Mazdamundi. Jesus. Yeah, he got a ginormous weapon to the face of that blade. Going to be slicing through that armchair of his. But Doomball's in. Doomball maybe could do some work here up against the Sentinel. Both these bad boys really do have enough weapon strength to certainly slap some cheeks here. Now the Gorball, he's going to be anti-large. He can certainly do some good work up against the Sentinel. Hellstride is going to be chasing off Mazda. He's going to get shattered down, unfortunately, and that will be army losses. GG's well played. I think Warhammer has benefited a lot from Domination being added in. I'd love to see sieges made competitive, but doubt it will ever happen. Yeah, I've got some interesting thoughts and opinions on Domination. I'm obviously a Dom fan and enjoyer, nonetheless. I think also adding in an extra game mode is rather interesting. I might make a video on this. It'll take me a while to make it, but I have some thoughts and opinions around the game mode and something I'll want to share maybe in a minute. But yes, I think adding things is certainly great, but we'll talk about it. So 812 from Festus. 1.4k there from the Severed Claw, 400 for the Chaos Spawn, 640, 200 there for the Halberds, and 500 for the Chaos Warriors. 800, 1.3k there for the Hell Striders, 400, 200, 300 from the Marauders. Lord Mazda, 1.1, 1.2 there from the Spirit of Tepok, with 500 from the Bastiladon. 190, alongside 350, 950 there, very strong, with 100 and 300 from the Skin Cohort Javelins. 350 from the cohort of Sotek, with 43, 76 and 70 there from the Terranon Riders. For the Doomball, 1.5k, 600 as well from the Gorball. So pretty good combo there, quite like that. I think getting onto Festus earlier, maybe there wasn't the chart, I didn't see what units were around it, but could have been quite nice. 200 for the Minotaur Great Weapons, 250 there for the Centaurs, and 800 from the Brave Shaman of Wild. 54, 270 for the Ungol Raiders, 200, 150, 130, and 160 for the Ungol Herds. For the Spearmen, 360, 150, 370, and 200. So from Warberstein, oh no, sorry, that's going to be from Rice. 1,800 from Yao Ying, 850 from the Terracotta Sentinel, 1,300 for the Great Longmars, 1.3, 900 for the Crane Gunners, 1,000 value from the Grand Cannon, 350 for the Jade Warriors, with 211 and 250 for the Peasant Long Spearmen. Very good. Okay, hear me out. I know Throg is like Norska's best lord, but I think he should get an aura where he buffs trolls, attack damage, and really, yeah. So I think there should be an ability called like Troll King would be really good, where he like gives trolls like leadership or something like that that could really help bring like armored chaos trolls into the meta. I totally agree, Mr. Casual. I think that would be a really cool idea. So yeah, a little note on Domination. I think adding Domination to the game was really, really good. I think how they added Domination to the game probably wasn't the best. Forcing people to play Domination probably wasn't the idea to do. I think if you were going to release Domination to the game, you had to have the game the same as it was in Warhammer 2, and then add Domination in when you had the split between Domination and land battles. Now, one of the problems you have with the multiplayer scene here for Warhammer is the player pool very much fluctuates a lot. Sometimes there's a good, plentiful source of players, and other times not so much. Now, in big games such as like Call of Duty, Apex, all these first-person shooters, they can have multiple game modes where they have like a team deathmatch, or they have like a domination game, or they have search and destroy. You can have these game modes because the player pool is very wide. Now, the problem with that here in this game is the player pool isn't really wide enough to support two different game modes. You either love domination or you love land battles, and I find there are very few that love both. I'm an enjoyer of both. I'd probably say 70% land battles, 30% domination. But I think with the player pool not being huge, it has hurt the multiplayer scene, for sure. I think it's definitely added something to the game, but it's hurt the multiplayer scene. I think that's how, especially with how it was done, and with it being still in the game, it's tough. It's tough. I think it's great for the game in general, having an extra game mode, but from a competitive standpoint, it has divided the community, which is a bit of a problem. But this conversation has many angles you can take from it. But it is tough. But I know what you mean. I really like Domination. When me and Rubber Duck of War had early access, when we first got it, my God, it was an absolute breath of fresh air. I absolutely loved Domination. It was fantastic. And from a ranked perspective, Domination makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. There's no rules needed. The only thing you need is the limit on how many troops you can take, the army limits, and that's it. You can't get, you can't draw kite, you can't forest camp, all these kind of things. Those elements in. But I think truly for me, from a organizer perspective, I think Land Battles has a lot more to give. I think Domination's quite a closed game mode. There is not much around it you can do. Whereas I think Land Battles, there's a much steeper learning curve for Land Battles, that's for sure, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a lot to it. But yes, I'll leave it there. But I think for sure, there's a large conversation to be had. There's a large conversation. I think adding Domination is always nice. Having more game modes in the game certainly makes it fun. My example was, like, I play a lot of Apex Legends. Before, you could only play 3v3 on regular. They then added a ranked mode where you could get skill-based matchmaking, and that was all you had. So it became quite crappy when you didn't have a team of 3 that you don't know. You at least had to play with one other person. But if you're on your own, I just never used to play Apex because I'm on my own with 2 other people I've never met. And it was never really enjoyable because you're never really all on the same page, etc., whatever. But then they added a 2v2 mode. They added other things as well on the side. But of course, that divides it up and makes things like skill-based matchmaking and stuff like that. It's really, really tough. You end up finding that actually the game has to slam together a bunch of people that are as close as they can make it based on the pool of people that are available at the time. And that is in a AAA game. I mean, this is obviously a very, very, very good game, but it's a AAA game that has a massive pool of players. Whereas this is not really comparable on the amount of players that play multiplayer, as it is predominantly a single-player game. That's something to take into consideration. Maybe I'll make a video on this and I'll really go into depth about some things and thoughts, but we don't have to. But anyway, so Ninja Penguin is going to be using the High Elves. It's by far his favourite faction, and he absolutely loves it. And we're going to be going up against Matthew from GGX, who is someone who has certainly come a long way in the scene. He is a very strong player. So we're going to be using Luther Harkon, which I assume he'll be on his flying mount, but Luther Harkon hasn't been seen in the meta for quite some time. Normally, Count Noculus comes into the meta because Noculus has the most amount of summons you can get for the undead. Wrath Storm is incredible. But the nice thing about Luther Harkon, he used to have 360 shooting. He could use the fire whilst moving. This man was an absolute menace in the multiplayer community in Warhammer 2. He was genuinely a nightmare. He also has things like extra powder, which gives you more missile strength when you're above 80% ammo. You can say 390 missile strength, with also the disruptive, which reduces physical resistance, increases miscast chance as well, which is quite interesting. Lots of AP, poison, regen here on his flyer, with the horn cycle as well, which is basically think about that as a Hundreds of Champions, but not quite as strong. We're also going to have the death rate, which is going to be the breath attacks. He's still a very, very strong lord choice. But in the sky here, to counter that, double the Flames Fire Phoenixes, which are going to be rather interesting to see. So pretty typical build. Scurvy Dogs on the outside, one here in the back corner. This is really quite smart for anybody that's new to the game. Having these in the back corner means if anything summons in the back here, and you immediately push in with the dogs, A, you'll see it, and B, you can collapse straight onto it. There's nowhere for them to run and hide. They're stuck in this corner, so you can certainly pounce on them. High Elves eating this patch well, it seems. Yeah, High Elves have benefited really nicely from this patch. Bombers in the middle. There's going to be 3 of those, backed up by a Vampire Fleet Captain with the no pistol, but going to be having here the Curse of Undeath with the Invocation and the Drowned Dead Summon. The Night Terrors here in the back, the Mongols, anti-infantry, armor piercing, Terran Hunger, making them pretty powerful overall. The zombie pirate gunnery handgunners in the backside, backed up by animated hulks. Pretty cheap. Monstrous infantry with armor piercing, just making them overall a strong choice. Really good front line, lots of meat to allow the bombers and the pistols to do the work that they should be doing. So for the high elves, we're going to go for a relatively small build, but there's one thing you need to know about the Ninja Penguin. Really awesome guy, Ed. He loves things like a dragon, a phoenix. He loves some good, juicy, expensive stuff. And listen, it makes my cast just that little bit better, But Spearman in the front here, so you can see quite a small build here from the high elves. A couple of Loft and Seaguard. On the side here, we are going to have some Silver Helms, backed up by the Double Phoenix, and then, on foot is going to be Tyrion. I thought Tyrion might have come on horseback, but he's going to have the Heart of Avalon, backed up here by Sunfang, the Faint and Repose, which is very, very powerful, Stand Your Ground, and Foe Seeker. Shadow Walkers on the side, these are going to be the Poisoned Boys. Shadow Walkers, one of my favourite range units in the game. These bad boys are just absolutely fantastic. And in the old game, you had to use the sub-faction to get hold of them. But now, they're just really, really cool. Yeah, really, really good hybrid piece. Really, really good hybrid piece. Excited to see what they do. And then Illyrian Reavers, which, certainly seen some lovely benefits. So the boys here are going to be diving forward. And they're going to be getting into position. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. So just going to be shooting here with the high elves. Get a little bit of a skip on as you can. Really nice targeting there, so quite like that a lot. So getting onto those bombers early, which is certainly useful. On the side here, we're actually going to be seeing the Shadow Walkers, which is a bit of a shame because the dogs are going to come across here. Going to be shooting up against these zombie pirate gunnery polearms. Now we need the cavalry across, but yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate here. They do get spotted. So the doggers are in, and the doggers are going to cause some good damage. Now the dogs are anti-infantry, but they are going to get that charge bonus. So look how quickly the Shadow Warriors die. And they do a 39 melee defense, but that charge bonus really does make the difference. So the Silver Helm's going to charge to the back of the doggers, and they should be able to finish them off. But Luther Harkon is in. And the kitchen sink has been thrown across. Silver Helms get caught up by the polearms, and the animated Hulk's going to come through, and they're going to butcher rather quickly. Coming across is going to be the Flame Fire Phoenix. Now, they could jump down here on Luther Harkon and could do a bit of a number. Now, he is pinned in place. That's certainly where I'd like to see them. This might be Sunfang. It is Sunfang. So Sunfang's really, really good tier-shaped damage. As the big boy comes through, melee defense going up here with Stand Your Ground. Foe Seeker as well has been activated, and he's going to dive after Luther Harkon. We can see the Flame Fire Phoenix charging down up against Luther, and Luther does not have the speed to get away here. He is pinned in place. Now Tyrion will fight in the middle. Animated Hulk's coming across. We need to skirmish as much as we can, and this build is going to be a little bit behind the play. So I think Ninja here is actually going to be getting the upper hand, but Luther Harkon's getting away because the cavalry have run away. This is really unfortunate. Luther getting away here is quite disasterly. Now, of course, these Flame Fire Phoenixes are faster, and I would chase down Luther Harkon for an eternity. He's got to fight at some point. So there we go. We're going to immediately fight here. But you can see both of them stacked up on top of each other here. So they've got to be really careful. You need to get one around the corner, otherwise they're both not going to be able to fight. Luther Harkon, he also has a weakness to fire damage. So these bad boys are going to be slapping for extra damage with AP, and Luther Harkon is going to be going down. There's nothing you can do about it. The best thing you can do here is land. That is the best thing you can do. Flame Fire Finishers have done the damage though, which is excellent work there indeed. So Tyrion should probably fight here up against the Night Terrors. Silver Helm's going to dive in. These bad boys have lots of armor piercing though, so you've got to be very careful. Keeping this Bob nice and close, strong there from the big man himself, rampaging the Mongols. And now we actually have the Illyrian Reavers firing, and the Shadow Walkers do get away, but at what cost there? At what cost? So diving forward here, we see Spearmen coming in. The Loth and Seaguard will get forward to try and shoot here up against the majority of the infantry. And you can see that the Night Terror is going to fall here. Now, Animated Hulks dive forward, and they're going to try and see if they can slap on the Flame Fire Phoenixes. Now, the nice thing about the bad boys is they have the Rebirth ability, which I believe they have a 50% chance of regaining their entire hit points, or half of it or something. Yeah, it's really, really powerful. So in the backside here, Silver Helm's going to be getting pushed off by Luther Harkon, which is where I definitely want to see the 5 Phoenixes, putting some pressure on the bad boy, because Invocation of Nehek has been cast on him, which is a lot of healing. That is a lot of healing. Pistol shooting up against the Phoenixes, and we do see the bombers are going to be breaking. Tyrion needs to get in and start shutting down some of these hand gunners. Phoenix is here flying in the sky. It looks like we are going to dive down on the pistols. Pretty good stuff there. Probably want one on each if you can. Tyrion going to try and fight up against the animated hogs. Bombers firing over the top. Lots of damage there on Tyrion. You can see that disrupted, giving that negative physical resistance. In the middle, animated hogs dropping down to the Illyrian Reavers. And now we can see the majority of the pocket of the Lothern Seaguard are going to be shooting into the backside here of the Meaty Chaff. Luther Harkon now is going to fight up against the divided Flame Fire Phoenixes. A summon in the back of the gunnery mobs, which is really, really powerful. That summon there, if you overcast it, summons pistols, which can whip here up against the lightly armoured Flame Fire Phoenixes. Hornswaggle, alongside that Disrupt, has been activated there to get some good damage on the Phoenix. Now he's going to be broken, but you have to go below 10% HP before you're going to get that Rebirth activation. So the pistols are seeing a bit of damage, but not enough here to really justify the flame fires getting in there. It's going to be quite tough here. You definitely need to get the remainder of your units. You can see Spearmen here in the backside not really moving, because of course a lot of the micro is going to be there on the flame fire Phoenixes. Luther Harkon's going to be shooting whilst fighting here up against the flame fire Phoenix, doing lots and lots of damage. Now, are we going to get that activation? So we have to drop here below. We have to get to about 430 health before we're going to see any activation for the Rebirth. Tyrion's going to be fighting over there on his own, down to 660 here. That Disrupted is rather powerful overall. 560. Are we going to get this before we get off? If we do get the activation, maybe we could turn and burn here. 1 leadership. 450. Nope, it dies. Okay, so it looks like it's not going to happen here. Flamefire Phoenix on his own, it could be in trouble here. You've got to be very careful of that. We do see some Lothern Seaguard shields coming across, but Luther Harkon, I think that unfortunately allowing Luther Harkon to get away was really, really unfortunate. At the top here, Tyrion's going to be fighting on his own. Stand your ground, Fate and Repose. Foe Seeker going to be activated. 125 armor here for the big man, but he's just getting blasted. Oh, look at the healing! Look at the healing there. We saw the massive activation there of the Heart of Avalon, and that's going to be doing some juicy stuff there for him. Now, Tyrion certainly wants to fight up against the Vampire Fleet Captain, wants to get in there and do some big work. This is where we get back into the game. He's going to slash and dash here up against the caster. He will butcher this unfortunate caster rather quickly. Now in the middle, the Flamefire Phoenix is going to be fighting up against the Bombers, but at the same time, we're going to be getting blasted by the Gunnery Mob Handgunners. And it looks like the Flamefire Phoenix is going to be still fighting. Is that him broken? Did you get the regrowth there? I think he got the regrowth. I'm not too sure. Did he get the rebirth? How much is it? Oh, you get 25% healing now. So yes, he did get it, but I think you can only get it once. And now we're going to be shooting with Luther Harkon in the sky, doing some really good damage on Tyrion. The halberds here at the polearms, that they do successfully hit the majority AP. Sunfang coming down there here though. Nope, just like no Sunfang. You do have to fight in combat to get that back. Spearmen going to be fighting up against the majority of the infantry. The Flamefire Phoenix does come back. Leo Reaver Archers getting pushed off here by the zombies, with Lothern Seaguard sadly, unfortunately, not doing too much. Decker mobs do break up against the Lothern Seaguard. Hopefully try and see if we get some Spearmen in there fighting. Some of the pistols in the backside going to be shooting here up against the Spearmen of the High Elves. Tyrion is going to be fighting, but I just don't think it's going to be enough here. The fact also that Tyrion doesn't have fire damage is just it's just shocking to me. He definitely needs to have fire damage. I don't know why he doesn't. But yeah, Tyrion here is unfortunately going to be biting the dust in the middle, I'm sure. Shooting up against the Flamefire Phoenix, down to 0, and unfortunately the big bird drops there. How are we doing, Adam Awesome? Hope you're doing really well. Howdy. How are we doing, my friend? Hope you're having a great day. So the handgun is going to be shooting in the middle of these bad boys. Have so much ammo, it's ridiculous. So much ammo. So the middle healing cap Tyrion here is going to be using one of his abilities here up to 107 melee attack and still struggling up against Luther Harkon. You can see Luther Harkon is actually struggling to push him over. But it looks like... Oh, he's been terrified! Tyrion getting terrified. Okay, fair enough. I'll see you, CA. I see you. But yeah, Tyrion's going to be fighting here. Given the Sword of Cain, watch it go ham. But yeah, he's going to be fighting. And of course, those wounds going to have quite a bit of an effect here on the later stage of the game. You can see, look at that 20% negation there on that base weapon damage is quite huge. Who's the Hawk on a healing cap? Tyrion's going to be an epic duel here in the middle, that's for sure. You see the bombers here up against the Loffen Seaguard. Definitely the Loffen Seaguard shooting up against Luther Harkon if we can. There's going to be so much damage. In the backside, the Illyrian Reaver's just getting chased off here. Need to get these bad boys in and round and fight up against many units. In the backside, we actually see more of the Deckhand mobs. A really cheap unit just pushing off the Loffen Seaguard. My apologies. But in the middle, Hornswaggle has been activated. Negative armor, negative melee defense there on Tyrion. And to counter that, we're going to be using Foe Seeker. And I believe there was a couple of abilities, but I think he's going to be struggling here. Spearman diving forward. Luther Harkon is really close to going down. This is a super tough matchup for the VP, I must say. But we can see here Tyrion holding. Stand your ground gets activated for that leadership and melee defense. As we're going to be taking down Luther. Is he going to go? 3 leadership he's holding on to. He is going to get away. He's run out of ammo. But maybe just get the pistols in to blast up against Tyrion could just be the end here. Yeah, that's going to be enough there to finish him off, I'm sure. Spearman coming through. Breath attack down the line here. And that is going to be Tyrion breaking and biting the dust, I think. So bombers are going to be breaking. They are going to get a couple of bombs here on the Loffen Seaguard. Loffen Seaguard going to be breaking. Balance of power is dangerously close here. Shooting up against Tyrion. 66 HP for him. He is at healing cap. 36. He still has 2 leadership. This man is an absolute animal. He actually returns. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Hey, Baron. I hope you're doing well, buddy. 24. That's absurd. That's absurd. And then he goes down. So it looks like here we're probably going to be able to finish off for the remainder of the map. Luther Harkon takes care of the Loffen Seaguard. And I believe that's going to be it. It looks like actually the zombie pirate deckhands caught in the end. And looks like the gunners here still going to be shooting up against the spearmen. The spearmen are going to be chasing. These bad boys just need to run away. Breath attack down. And still going to be shooting here with the Loffen Seaguard. Definitely want to be shooting Luther Harkon if we can. But yeah, looks like there's going to be a shatter. Spearmen in. They're going to shatter. Spearmen fighting up against the polearms. They should be back the polearms. These two are going to be still chasing off the gunners. Yeah, and then they stop moving. So they're going to get blasted in the middle. Some spearmen kind of still holding still here. Spearmen break. Breaking here is going to be the polearms as well. They're going to falter rather quickly. Balance of power is shifting into the VP favour. But you have terror and mobile terror as well here with Luther Harkon. Plus the incoming missile pressure. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a problem here. These bad boys are losing leadership. I'm not even sure why. They move across the map. They're going to be blast here up against the spearmen. And that is going to be army losses. Really close game there. Really close game. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all 8 games. And a big 8 dubski there for the boys from GGX. 3,360 there for Luther Harkon. I think really unfortunate not to snipe him in the early stage. I think Matt got quite lucky there. I think just one mistake of pulling out the heavily armoured Silver Helms. I think if they'd stayed in, I think Luther Harkon dies, and this game is very comfortably wrapped up by the High Elves. But we'll play to come back from that, from just that mistake there. But yeah, still nonetheless, look at the value: 1,600, 1,900 from the handgunners. Yeah, there was just a couple of units in left behind. I think, you know, if we'd had the Loffen Seaguard shooting on the handgunners, etc., this could have been a very different game. Bombers, 730 there, 300, 100 and 180. Polearms coming in at 600, 500, 230. We've got 270, 144, 180, 300. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Tyrion, 2,730 there for him, an absolute animal indeed. We saw 930 for the Flame Fire, 1,000 as well. We saw 900, 450 for the Silver Helms, with 909 from the Shadow Walkers. 207, 520 there for the Loffen Seaguard. 550 for the Illyrian Reaver Archers, with 330, 790, 300, 640, and 250 for the Spearmen. Very, very good stuff. Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the full wrap here today. Thank you very much for watching. Obviously, I haven't been doing too much stuff recently. I've had a lot going on, as all of you know. I have university, I have 3 jobs, and just lots and lots and lots going on. I was going to cast this yesterday, and I was going to cast the ODM tournament today, but yeah, I bought some takeaway food, and it made me feel pretty crappy, so I decided not to stream. But yes, we will be having another event coming forward. So DBD is going to play again, but what they're going to do is they're going to be playing up against basically my old. Basically, I have a couple of roles on the Discord. So anyone that's ever been an admin, so I've got my Thanes, Shortbeard Rangers, the Bear Clan, which is anyone that's ever been an admin or a Shortbeard administrator. We're going to do a bit of a game there. So it's going to be DBD versus basically my mods on the Discord, which should be pretty nice. Should be pretty nice. Sorry, I just got pinged. Just make sure it's all right. So yeah, I'm going to try and do a couple of more events. If you guys have any replays that you also want to send in, do feel free to on the Discord. You can send replays in there. If you want any coaching, join the Discord. Have a chat with me. I do some coaching with some other guys where you know, you can book in some time to come to basically learn about the game with me. It can help you build builds. It can help you get better with you know. Basically playing multiplayer Warhammer, whether that be Domination, land battles, and if you guys got any suggestions, I'm going to be doing some, also going to be doing some other fun events, so we're going to be doing some, I've forgotten the name of it now. How have I forgotten the name of it? King of the Hills, going to do some King of the Hills. I haven't done those in a long time. Might do some randomizers on the King of the Hill as well, so we do actually have the Randall's faction picker, so I can basically give you a faction and you have to play, which could be quite cool. So maybe do something like that, and then if you guys got any more clan wars or any other suggestions, you know, do let me know. But yet again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, of course, smash the like button, helps quite a bit. Thank you very much for all of the donations. That was really appreciated, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be back here basically after, I'd say I'm going to get a lot more free time now. I think November was a hugely busy month for me, where I worked pretty much every day 3 weeks in a row, and I had something every day to do. Now I'm a lot more free. I have more days off, so I can start doing stuff like this more often. But again, thank you very much for watching, and yes, I'll be seeing you guys very soon.